Welcome to Liberal 12th Man Show. I'm the Liberal 12th Man. How's everyone doing? We've been doing some fun shows lately, firing up the live bird once again. And we're going to do another fun show, hopefully for you guys today, because I figured we've done some heroes. We've done like some legends, some cult heroes, or our depiction of what cult heroes is, the description that I utilized for the show at least. And I was on Frank Carlisle's show. We did another Legends show where, we're just kind of going through some of the legends through the eras of the 80s all the way up to present time. And, this is one that I've been looking forward to as well, because with every hero, there's got to be a villain. So we're going to come across some of the villains in our lives as Liverpool Reds here. The guys that kind of like, just you might have rated them, but you just hated them. Maybe they had no real talent whatsoever, but they were always just going into tackles wrong or taking dives against our teams or trying to get under our skin. Those real villains of Reds, of the Reds. So I thought it'd be kind of a fun episode to do, because I always know that the Mighty Reds here are always undefeated. The Army here is always undefeated. So I appreciate you guys joining me. And also joining me, as always, is our co-pilot, my co-pilot, I should say, Brian. How are you doing today, Brian?
Yeah, I'm very well. How's everyone in chat doing? How are you?
Very, very well myself. And hopefully you are well in the chat. Very well. I hope that you're all well. Big up to Psychedelic Shaolin. Big up to Alexander. Cedric Lopez in the house. Big up, John Conway. Definitely, it's gonna be a fun episode. I hope that you guys can stick with the flight here. You guys are all business class, okay, first class in my book, all day, every day. But yeah, it should be a fun little episode. So Brian and I were kind of like kind of making sure that we had the parameters of this correct as well. We're going to kind of like make sure that it's understood what we're trying to do. Primarily now, what we're looking at is players that, that the Reds have faced in one way or another in the Premier League that you really despise. And we're going to go player position by position. And then we're also going to even get a manager in here for the AFC club here, which is you can already see their badge that I got for them as well. So hopefully they enjoyed their call up to the AFC here, to another AFC at least. So Brian, what were you thinking when you saw this episode, or this topic kind of get put together? What were your thoughts?
I was thinking it must be international break.
That it is.
No, it's the yin and the yang. We've been giving a lot of praise out. So yeah, it's time for a few mugshots. Time for a few villains to have their criminal records re-examined.
Yeah. I think of it as like, we've been, for every Batman, you got to have a Joker, you got to have a Riddler, you got to have these you got to have some type of pushback. And what really got me thinking about this episode primarily was because I remember, so Bruno got a yellow card in that FA Cup matchup against us, and he went into a tackle that normally for almost any other player would have been a yellow card, but yet he didn't get it. He didn't get a yellow card. He was already on a yellow card from dissent. Okay, he went into a tackle, made a bad tackle, got the foul called on him, got up demonstratively as always. Oh, big up Norman. How you doing, Norman? Hello. And got up demonstratively as always, complaining, arguing with the ref, and didn't get a yellow card for that dissent, didn't get a yellow card for that foul, despite him being on a foul. Yet, it made me think of like, here we are in a game, in a competition, it's an important competition, but like, it made me think about Diego's challenge where he had 2 yellows and got a red for nothing. And I'm like, how does Bruno get away with this crap all the time? I've seen him grab officials on the sideline and push them and talk mess, talk trash in their face, and still nothing for no type of real punishment for this guy. And I'm just like, argh. And then you mix in the fact that he's can be just an a-hole at times. It could be like
Let it all
that.
out. Let it all out.
Get it all out. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go. I definitely this is like definitely a therapeutic style of getting out the hatred for some of these players and stuff. Oh man. Lee Bauer and Joey Barton, center midfield. Okay. Norman's getting his picks in early. I got you. Yeah, this is one of those things where he just like we can do it. Yeah, this is from this season. Yeah. I want to do it from this season if we could. Go ahead, Brian.
Oh, you want? Well, we're
no. I meant like not necessarily from only this season, but I mean like I'd like to see some of the choices from this season too, though. Like doesn't have to be all.
They're already playing, but basically, it's anyone. It's all time Premier League or biggest a-hole.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, it's not just this season. No.
Yeah, and hopefully, some of the players will be in. I will be able to, pull them up. Some players might be too, what's the word I'm looking for? Too hard to find, I guess. Yeah, on the list, they might not make it on this lineup builder list, but there are certain players like spoiler alert, like a John Terry or something like that, that's a player that you despise for more reasons than one, that kind of thing. So you can do this season, you can do others, you can do previous seasons. It's just more so like, I wanted to make sure that you understand that there like some of the visceral energy for me is from this season, will be from this season more so than not. So it is what it is. Norman's talking about Norman, you're right about this. He says, tell you what, 12th man, when Tracy gets a hold of Lee, she will be a villain. Yeah, certainly so. Because he's a heartbreaker, apparently heartbreaker, but all the same.
He's fighting them off by all accounts. He's fighting them off.
Yes, certainly. Big up, Drunk Vigo. But big up, Drunk Vigo. Let's just jump right into this. I know that we were thinking about. We came across the goalkeeper, and I know that there's an obvious selection, an obvious nominee for a lot of us for the goalkeeper. But Brian and I were trying to, think of some other candidates at least to throw out there for you guys. I'm sure that you might have a candidate of your own. Yeah, exactly. I like it, Alexander. Throwing in some names already. But we were trying to come across some candidates other than the obvious candidate that I would say out there for a goalkeeper. And did you come up with any other names that you could think of throwing out there for the people, Brian? Is there some other name out there?
That's what we were saying. Like I found it difficult to think of anyone other than the guy that I think everyone was going to pick. That really kind of got under my skin to a degree. But hey, I suppose if I was going to put one up there after Mr. Obvious, I really, really I'd have to say Joe Hart. Really couldn't stand Joe Hart.
Ooh, good nomination.
Yeah, the way he was he's the original of these cocky English young goalkeepers that all seem to have blonde hair for some reason, and all are totally overrate themselves. Kind of screaming at their defenders all the time. Excuse me, giving it the big I am and all of that. But the fact he played for England as well kind of pushed me over the edge. So for a while, if it was like 5 or 6 years ago, it'll definitely be him for me. And the other
Hmm.
guy that I really don't like is Emi Martinez. I mainly more for what he did in the World Cup and not
Hmm.
the celebration thing, which I thought, yeah, he was a complete clown for doing that. I think he's a dickhead for doing that, but it was the way he was acting in penalties because, like, I know this whole like being a shithouse and mentality games and all that. Like, it's that's fine. Like, some of these guys are taking it too far now to the point of disrespect. Like
Hmm.
walking up to a player and holding the ball and then flinging the ball 30 yards away. Like, seriously, man. Like, you should be getting knocked out. You really should be getting knocked out for that kind of like that's disrespect on it. But have a little, you know, have a little word, like they say in cricket, like sledging or whatever. But he was taking that on the world stage. It's supposed to be about sportsmanship. At the end of the day, he threw it out the window a bit. I thought that guy really gets under my skin. Him. And yeah, I think we all know who everyone's going to go for it. But actually, the more I think about it, I think my nomination would be Joe Hart.
That's a good shout.
Over.
That's a very good shout. That's a very good shout. I thought also maybe you just said Martinez. Did you say him too? Is that who you said as well?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Argentina and that's
the
the book.
Argentinian. Yes, yes. That was who I was going to nominate too. Especially with his antics. I get it wasn't against us. I get it wasn't necessarily in the Prem that he did these actions, but he's just kind of a overall, um, true
Yeah,
AFC member from his antics in the World Cup. With the whole like, stuff, getting the Golden Glove, yet still doing his very disrespectful
I thought so.
acceptance of the award, to say the least.
Yeah, I thought so. Like, there's been a character. There's been a bit, being a bit mad and all that. But that to
Yeah,
me is like that's. I mean, when your grandchildren Google you, that's probably the first image that's going to come up.
yeah, yeah, yep, pretty much, pretty much. And I
I
get
mean,
you're
he
in the
can
moment,
say,
but I mean, like, if you want to be
yeah,
some people like playing the heel. Some people like being that guy. They like to be the hated player, or something like that.
I think they do.
Um,
No, you're right.
it,
They some people. Graham Souness. I was watching a Graham Souness documentary last night, kind of a short half an hour one,
mhm,
and he explicitly said that, and all the people that played with him said that the more that the opposition crowd hated him and booed him and jeered him, they said he just loved it. He lapped it up.
exactly. Yep.
It just fired him up. Not that it made him play better, but in no way did it intimidate.
Yep.
In no way whatsoever, and he just loved it. He was just like, yes, brilliant. I don't care. Like, I don't care if they hate me. It's just, this is great. I thrived on it totally. So
Did
you're right.
you
There are players that enjoy that thing, that notoriety of being that guy, without doubt.
mean that guy? Yep. Yep. There's another player too. Yeah, like as you just start, I'm telling you, as you start to really, really think about it, there are certain players that you just, when you heard their name, it kind of made you go, "Oh God, do I hate that player?" Whether
The
it could
kind
have
of
been,
guy
like,
who would, yeah, the
yeah,
kind of guy that you would shudder at the thought of us signing him.
yeah,
You
exactly.
know, like, oh, you see Liverpool link, but I mean, no, no, please, no. I don't
Yep,
care. Yeah, I don't care how good he is. I don't want that asshole in the team. That kind of instant thought.
yep, yep, yep. Who's the guy? Because like for instance, not necessarily for goalkeeper, but now I'm gonna go blank on his name too. He was the guy that kicked Kanate in the head, basically. Uh, um,
Who does he play
shoot.
for?
It was in, I believe it was in the Southampton game. What is his name? Um, he actually ended up doing like a very similar thing next week. I'll think of it. I'll think of it. We're not on. We're not. He plays. He plays defense for them. So I'll think of it as we come across it when we come
Oh,
back to it.
I thought you were talking about goalkeeper because that was Bazunu, the Irish keeper at Southampton.
No, yeah, no, not him, not him. I just saying. I was saying he's not a goalkeeper. He's like a
Yeah.
defender, but
So
he plays very dirty. Plays very dirty, and he just does not give two f's. Basically, you know.
Pickford, we haven't mentioned him, but we kind of did think that he was going to be the obvious choice. I know that he got a few shouts. Are
Yeah,
you going to
he
go
got
with
on the
Pickford?
thumbnail. He got on the
Yeah.
thumbnail. Yeah.
Don't always believe thumbnails, people.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you going to go with Pickford? Because I think I'm going with Joe Hart.
You're gonna go with Joe Hart? Okay.
Yeah.
Even I was gonna ask, how about like I mentioned Schmeichel too. Was he in hate? Was he one of those, or maybe even Peter Cech?
I hated Peter Schmeichel, but I didn't hate Peter Schmeichel, if you know what I mean. I hated the Man United machine. I hated the fact that Man United were always winning and beating, and he was a part of that. And he was a little bit, yeah, he was quite annoying and stuff, but now that I've seen him after football and stuff, he's not that bad at all. I could listen to him. I wouldn't mind listening to him talk about football for 5 minutes on a World Cup show or something, And I think I hated Man United.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I hated him. So I don't really have any kind of lingering hate for him. But like Joe Hart is being and gone, and I still hate him. And because I kind of blame Joe Hart for this young generation of Pickfords and Ramsdales.
Oh wow!
These totally overconfident young English goalkeepers that think the way to be is to be like the way Joe Hart was.
Mm-hmm.
His whole thing was, he almost turned it into a meme. His whole thing was fronting.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Hart, I always front. After a game, I made a mistake, I always front up. It's like, it was just all this macho bollocks. It's like, yeah, well done. You took, responsibility for making an error. He tried to turn it into some kind of, hashtag kind of for himself. It was kind of cheesy and cringy. And he's kind of created this whole overconfident, over the top young English goalkeeper that doesn't, and this is the kind of main part, that don't have the talent to back it up. If they were good, you can do whatever the hell you want. If you're good enough, you can act like a complete dick. But these guys, is Pickford good enough to act like a complete dick?
Yeah, no, I get you. It's almost like same things like as De Gea. Like I kind of did not like De Gea. He could be maybe a shout. I don't want. Obviously, I mean, we could just. There's so many Red Devils for obvious reasons why we would pick some of these players. But
I don't think De Gea would beat any of the other candidates. I think
no. Yeah, you're right about that. I agree with that completely. Yeah.
So will we say it's a Hart?
Yeah, you're gonna go Hart. You're gonna Hart. I'm Hart, Pickford.
Are you going Pickford?
I do hate him because realistically, you know what? Like in my mind, whenever I think of Pickford, I think of like a couple of different actions that he did against us. Whether it was like the time wasting BS that he did that was so bad that Ali had to mock him by doing it himself in later on in the game.
Yeah.
Or either when or just the sheer fact that he somewhat derailed a season for us with his absolutely heinous tackle.
Oh yeah, Christ. Yes. How could I have forgotten about that? Yeah. No, actually, yeah. That actually pushes him over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that
I forgot about that. Yeah, the Virgil thing pushes. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back to Pickford on that one for me.
Yeah.
Like, how could I have forgotten about Virgil?
Huh?
How could I have forgotten about Virgil?
Yeah, I mean that alone sticks in my mind as a reason, like as in the sheer fact that he almost acted as if his tackle was like legit, like it was like a clean tackle or something like that. And I'm just like, what the? Yeah, man, that alone made me say, "Bum this guy." I just could not stand him once that went down. Man, they forget about Trey.
Yeah,
All right, so
look,
let's just. I think Pickford is going to run away with it from that. Don't you think?
yeah. Oh yeah,
Is the chat cool with that? With Pickford getting that nod? I think that I've seen some nominations, but primarily a lot of people put Pickford as their candidate. Oh, when aren't the referees absolute trash?
we can.
So let's go with let's see. You want to go? Let's go left. Let's go right back. Actually, let's go right back. This is where it's going to get interesting because I mean, like some of these players, some of these guys, you might not necessarily have a problem with, but per se.
And just to be clear as well, we're not getting super semantic here on. And I'll say just people in the chat. If he's a defender, he can play. Like we're not getting super semantic on positions, as in, oh well, he was right-footed and he was left-footed.
Right, exactly.
It's an
None
imaginary
of that.
thing. Yeah. So
None
if
of
he's
that.
a defender and he played,
you can throw him in.
Yeah, like if it was bloody Virgil van Dijk and we can play him at right back for today because that's just what we're doing. The 4 defenders, 4 midfielders, 2 strikers. So.
Yep. I think JK just gave a very, very solid shout for a leading candidate right now. Whoops, I just brought up Balotelli.
Who the hell is talking about Richard Dunn here? You're talking about the honey monster, man. The actual honey monster. Ireland legend Richard Dunn.
But I think Gary Neville is a obvious shout as being one of those defenders that we could possibly put into the nominees at least. I think that could be an obvious shout.
I'm just trying to play a bit strategically as well in case of because Gary Neville, but I'm saying like there's probably 4 other I might hate more, so I'm just trying to think. I don't want to forget someone.
Right. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, sure.
Because Norman, that I don't know if you'll probably know him as a pundit, but Danny Mills.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I absolutely hate Danny Mills. I really, really hate Danny Mills. And he was a right back. But the most important thing, like, I don't know if we're bringing this into kind of, it's not part of it, like, but say like after football, the guys that aren't playing, like I was saying, Schmeichel doesn't really offend me after, like, Danny Mills hates Liverpool and he will take any opportunity to go on
to throw him under the bus.
Talk absolute shit about us.
Yep.
So for me, as much as it's like, for me, the Gary Neville thing is kind of similar to the Schmeichel thing. I just hated United. Yeah, and I did really dislike Gary Neville, especially as well. But I definitely hated Danny Mills more. There's another guy,
Let me see if he's on the list. Yeah, I don't think Mills is. I don't think he's going to be on the list, unfortunately. Yeah, I would have. I understand what you're saying about Danny Mills.
Yeah,
but I don't think, unfortunately, some of these players are just like, he's not a legend enough that he would, be in there. Let's double check.
There were some other. I mean, if you think about it for a while, I'm not Kyle Walker's biggest fan, but you've never done that.
I agree with you on that. That's who I was going to say, to be honest with you. I was going to bring up Kyle Walker because I think that Kyle Walker is a little bit of a jerk. I mean, his off the field antics, you could weigh that in if you want. I mean, I don't really. This is like your own interpretation, your own, like, some players are just like straight a-holes, not only from what they did on the pitch, but they're a-holes for what they did after. As you were just pointing out about how, whether it's the commentary that they do against us, or maybe it's just, he's just an a-hole. I mean, there's some players that maybe were you could. I mean, and let me say this. Let me say this right now. You can put Reds into this list if you want as well, because there are some players. There are some players that were heroes at one time, or maybe weren't heroes. Maybe were just like kind of walking the line, and then when they left, they became really despised players. You know.
No, I have two players
that fit that role.
That played for us. Yeah. Might even think up with another one. But got two anyway. I think
the only way. Wait, that's left back.
But there'll be honorable mention. There'll be plenty of room and time for honorable mention.
Right. I think we're gonna have to go with Neville.
Yeah, it's a fair one. It works.
Yeah, and hopefully he's even in here. Oh man, he's not even in here. I'll figure out a way to get him in there. I'll figure out a way to get him in there.
Put in a Neville there again for a second. Just put in Neville there, like you had there for a second.
Mm-hmm.
You had some random guy. You can just put him in as a placeholder because it'll look better than the blank.
Mm-hmm.
There was some guy there.
There is a.
Yeah, there was a Neville. Yeah, like H Neville. Just put H Neville in there, or S Neville. So that you can pass for Gary Neville.
Yeah, there you go. He can pass for it for right now.
And he's a right back.
Use your imagination, people. Unfortunately, some of these names, some of these blokes aren't in the list. Danny Mills. Look at Arsenal for Life giving out a shout. Okay.
Yeah, my shout was Danny Mills as well. So, but no, he's not in the. But
let's move on to. We'll make this one an easier one too. Well, you can do we can just do a center back pairing. So like, you know, it doesn't matter if he plays left or right, as Brian said earlier. It doesn't matter if he's left-footed, right-footed. This is just for two center backs. We're gonna put him in the middle here. A lot of candidates, I think, in the center back. A lot of candidates, I think, that could be named out there.
I think John Terry. I think we should stop wasting time and just put John Terry straight in. I mean, everybody
put John Terry straight in.
Yeah.
Is that what the chat feels too? John Terry straight in as that guy.
Most hated 11.
Wow. Okay.
You just can't.
Okay.
He's the captain, leader, legend.
We will nominate a captain, by the way. We will name that would be the a-hole. That would be the ultimate a-hole, basically. We will nominate a captain. We will nominate a captain.
I'm gonna leave.
So yeah, you want to put John Terry in straight in?
Yeah, he has to. He has to.
All right, straight in. Big up Fozzie. How you doing? LRFC in the house. How are you doing, brother?
Big up, brother. Big up. All good?
Yeah. Brian is with us, but Brian just got I don't know what happened with Brian. I think Brian's internet was going in and out. Let me bring Brian back in.
Okay, man.
You there, Brian?
Yeah.
Okay. I can kind of hear a little bit. Make sure that there's not much of an echo there. We're joined with Fozzie actually from LRFC.
You are up there.
What's that?
Thanks for having me on that talk, man. Appreciate that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. This is a little bit of a fun episode that we're doing. We've been doing all these legend shouts. We've been talking about all these heroes for so long, you know. You can't have a hero if you don't have villains.
Exactly.
So to depict this comic book that we're making, you know, we're trying to put together a premier villains list of players that you just absolutely despised. You know what I mean? Absolutely despised. And is there an echo?
Yeah.
Oh, is it my bad? Sorry, guys. Could be me.
No
is it better now? Is it better now? Yeah.
12th man.
Yes.
If you talk.
There's no
Yeah,
echo now,
that's
is there?
good. Yeah, that's good. Nice one,
Okay.
Fozzie.
That was me. It was
Yeah.
me. My speaker was
one.
on. Sorry about that, guys.
Thank you. Big up to the thank you, Fozzie, and also thank you for the chat for alerting us of that. So yes, we're just bringing up some villains, basically. Huh?
You can always rely on the chat. Any minor
Yeah,
technical
exactly. Absolutely.
Don't you worry about that.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're bringing up big up Redbird, by the way. Big up Daz. Hello to Arsenal for Life as well. Welcome. We're bringing up I said hello to Bonkers too. We're bringing up these villains basically. We have so far we've nominated Pickford as being pretty much the runaway candidate, even though we did have some other candidates for goalkeeper. Pickford made our goalkeeper.
Joe
We have,
Hart,
I know it says H Neville, okay, but that's supposed to be just because Gary Neville didn't get picked in the lineup builders legends status. Okay. So he's just holding down that spot for Gary Neville. We pretty much Brian didn't even nominate it. He already had a place card ready for at the seat at the table, ready for John Terry.
Non-negotiable.
Yeah.
Is he Brian? Yeah. Is he a Liverpool villain? Like Terry? Do we hate him that much?
Oh, well, yeah. I think from a purely Liverpool standpoint, that is it. Well, yeah, I suppose because he's just that hateable. But yeah, I was having trouble kind of picking more than 5 or 6, so I kind of definitely expanded out into just more kind of just absolute football assholes. Like, but Terry for me, like captain, leader, legend of an asshole team. You know, he's just pretty much even like I was going to say even Chelsea fans, but they don't. I say you'd be hard pushed to find anybody that has a good word to say about outside of that. Like, but yeah, has he ever done us wrong in particular? Just by being there, I suppose. You know, it was like with the you know, it was like I was saying to 12 man earlier on. He was talking about Schmeichel, right, and I was like, and the same with Neville, like because we went with Pickford and Neville. I would have gone with Hart and Mills because like I hated Schmeichel and Neville, but I was kind of saying I think I only hated them because they were playing for Man United. I don't think I personally really. There was other players that I hated more, but anybody that played for Man United, I absolutely hate, despise. But now, like it's still, but like with John Terry, I think he gets that, and the fact that he was playing for that horrible, horrible Chelsea team. I think
Norman's saying, Fozzie, Google Terry and Liverpool fans, a song sung.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm just looking from a point of view, like what Brian is saying. Like, I can't remember, you know, us talking about, if we would talk about like players we hated, I can't remember always mentioning Terry. Do you get what I'm saying, guys? I can't remember things like that.
Yeah.
Because there's so many players we hated down the years, like Gary Neville. Looks at Liverpool and Gary Neville, they don't get along. Let's just be honest there. Still to today, like we got issues with him at Sky Sports. But yeah, Terry, yeah.
I mean,
you know what, Brian is right though. Brian is right in a kind of way about the Man United players, 12th man. We just hated Man United.
A lot of candidates.
We just hated Man United. Personally, I don't know if we hated them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anything in a United shirt, it was just, even if it was your own cousin, it just, you know, this guy.
Yep. Because I mean, look, I don't like Rio, for instance. I mean, I think Rio could be a candidate for that center back pairing as well. I just don't like that guy. You know
what's funny, 12th man? He's actually a Liverpool fan, you know?
Yeah.
Do you guys even know that, Brian? Like, and 12th, like he's
Rio.
actually a Liverpool fan. Yeah. John Barnes was his favorite player.
No, because of Barnes.
Yes.
I get it. Oh, yes. Because of Barnes.
He doesn't admit it.
I've heard him say that. I've heard him say mad praise for Barnes. Yes, I've heard him talk about Barnes. Yep.
Barnes, that's the thing, man. People don't realize. how
for that era.
like
Yeah,
but Barnes
yeah,
was an icon.
icon
Barnes
for
was an
sure.
absolute icon, especially for
Yes,
like a lot of kids. That
yeah.
yeah, to see him doing that, man, I'm not surprised. As soon as someone goes, they're a Liverpool fan, I go, why would you be a Liverpool fan? They just go John Barnes. I'm like, oh right, yeah. It's
Mhm.
just like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Legend, mate.
Oh, and who else? Now I'm gonna go blank on his name.
Who's jumping out for
For
Who's
what?
jumping out for Fozzy? Who's jumping out for you? Who's jumping out for the chat? Because we're not getting a huge amount of shouts here. We're not getting a
Yeah, I
lot of
mean
shouts.
Eric Dyer. Arsenal said
No,
Woodgate.
Actually,
no.
Ashley Cole, and someone said Ashley Cole, left back. They said
He'll be going
Yeah,
to that.
he'll be on the left back there.
He'll be a shout.
I hate Vidic. You know, I hate Vidic because you know a lot of Man United fans say he's better than Van Dijk. Like they keep bringing Vidic up when when they talk about the best Premier League defenders, they always say Vidic is better than Van Dijk. That's the only thing I hate about Vidic, to be fair. Because when they compare that, I don't come on. Nobody, let's be honest, Brian and 12 man. Nobody can compare with Van Dijk. Let's just be honest there. But yeah, that's the only thing I hate about Vidic, to be fair.
And they're comparing the wrong player because they should be
The wrong
comparing Ferdinand to Van Dijk. Because if you want to put two players stylistically up against each other, two Rolls-Royce footballers, Vidic was the hard man.
Yes.
You know, the kind of the good cop, bad cop kind of job. You know, Vidic was the hard man player. He wasn't skillful, but he barely passed the ball. Van Dijk ping him 7. That's just
Phil
like
Jones.
Vidic without Ferdinand.
Bonkers with Phil Jones shout.
Who else is there? You know, I really dislike actually. Two players, right? If you want to go with a bit of current stuff, Kurt Zuma, right, for obvious reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
Clearly a bit of a wrong'un. And there was a guy, I don't know if everyone knows, Stephen Taylor. He was the Newcastle captain, the centre half.
Stephen Taylor.
Just, one of those guys, he was a Geordie, and he would just be so over the top. But I just saw him in a game once, like.
Oh, the one who used to be over dramatic, Brian. He's always over dramatic. Yeah. I know. I know he's talking about that.
Always over the fucking top and screaming at refs. And I seen him get a kid sent off in one game because he ran up to the ref saying the kid elbowed the player in the face, and he'd had his back to the incident. His player went down pretending to be injured. Kid didn't touch him. His player goes down pretending to be injured, grabbing his face. And someone just shouts at, and Stephen Taylor, who was captain, Newcastle captain, immediately runs over to the ref and starts going. He smashed him in the face. You can see him making the elbow thing, and the ref took his word for it as captain, having seen it, and he was like, he sent the kid off. And I just I never noticed him really that much before in that game. And I was like, you absolute prick, you utter prick. And ever since that day, I just didn't like him. It just takes something, and then you notice a player, and then you keep an eye out for him afterwards, and it's just like, he'd always wind you up watching him. So maybe him, Kurt Zuma, Rio's.
How about Romero from Spurs?
It's a recent thing, isn't it? It's fresh in it, Top man. It's fresh.
He's fresh, I know, and I get that some people might. Yeah, some people might be. That's why I said I wanted to definitely get some new candidates, some new blood.
Oh, new ones. Okay.
Yeah, we can put some new blood into this conversation. Honesty just said it too. I'm not sure if he beat me to my punch or not, but Honesty says, or Romero, he's an overrated bum. Okay. Or you know what? Or are we going to open it up to? Do you want to open it up to our Champions League competition as well?
We can do if we run out of obvious things. I think we were kind of suggesting that earlier on that because it's an obvious guy, because Ramos really is.
Ramos runs away with it.
Ramos
runs away in my book. Ramos is Ramos is the guy that comes and has the broom sweeping up after. He's the janitor, man, for the party, man. He's he
qualifies strongly, in terms of having impacted us directly. It's not just we're opening it up so we can find some. Like he's top tier. You know,
Oh,
he really is.
top tier.
So I have
Absolutely.
no problem putting him in over any of the other guys that we talked about.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any brilliant kind of standout obvious ones.
So
Mings,
you good with
I mean,
that? You good with that, Foz? Do you have anyone
Yeah.
that is there anyone? Mings is a shout. Bonkers. That's a good shout.
don't like Mings, no. Okay.
Mings, he's never that good, is he?
He doesn't really do it for you. Rasta Crab, big up Rasta Crab.
Fozzy,
I should have invited. I know. Well, you know, the door's always open to the Beige and Reds TV. I mean, like they just have to hit me up, and you know, and I'll send them the link all day, every day.
I just got a quick one for Fozzy. Fozzy, what about Jody and Lescott? What about Jody and Lescott?
Yes. Great shout. He don't forget he plays for Everton as well, guys. Yeah,
Everton and Man City.
And Man City. As soon as he got to Man City, he started getting cocky. Started speaking like down about Liverpool as well. Then I started hating him for that. Yeah. Great shout, Great shout. That has to go in as well, man. That has to go in.
It has
Even
to.
if it's a left
Okay.
back. Even if it's a left back 12 man.
Oh wow. Okay. Is he going to be in the list though? Is the question.
We have him as a first reserve at the moment. He's a first reserve. So Ramos is in. Are we all agreed on Ramos in?
Ramos 100%, man. After waiting to
I think Ramos. Yes. I think Ramos could be. Yeah. I think Ramos needs to be in. Oops.
Yeah. I'm sure he'll have his legends pick, no doubt.
Yeah, he should be in here. Yeah, he's in. Oh, he's still playing too. So. Yeah. I think that's a good shout.
Mm-hmm.
Bonkers with some interesting shouts. All right, interesting.
Marco, nah.
I think Mings is kind of like I think Romero is a good shout too, though. I mean, I might be alone on that, but he is a bit of a he can definitely get particularly a little dirty at times, you know, and not give too cares about it.
What about Patrice Evra?
But I don't know if he doesn't go over any of these. He's not more hated than Ramos, and he's not more hated than John Terry. Easy.
What about Evra? Evra, guys, Man United, back in the day, the way he used to behave towards Liverpool.
I'd have Evra in there. I'd have Evra and Ashley Cole would be. I would be fairly 50-50 on the two of them. Both of them really wound me up. Yeah.
Well, we're at left back. I mean, we're at our last defensive spot. Who are we going to put in that last defensive spot?
It has to be Evra, Brian. Surely it has to be. Forget about the Suarez thing. It's just in general, like the way he used to behave towards Liverpool. That's what I'm talking about.
So no Lescott.
Oh, shit. That's tough. But I hate Evra. I've always hated Evra. I don't know about you. I don't know about the chat. Evra is number one. It has to be.
Yeah, Evra's getting shouts in the chat.
Yes,
it has to be. He's the enemy of Liverpool. Forget about the Suarez thing. You know what I mean? Whatever happened. But, you know, it's his behavior towards Liverpool. I used to hate. I really used to hate it. And he always wanted to beat Liverpool, no matter what, in any way, even if he has to cheat. Yeah, I'll say Evra, man.
I just feel so sorry for 12th man here because he's having to contemplate putting Patrice Evra into a most hated players on a Liverpool channel. The optics on that, man. There you go. You have that one.
Ashley Cole's getting a lot of shouts too, though. By the way.
But did we hate Ashley Cole? Did we hate him?
Fozzy, did you see that chicken thing? The raw chicken thing.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
What is wrong with this gentleman? Seriously, what is wrong with this guy? Like, he's I have to say, man, I did hate it before all the stuff happened. I hated him more than I ever hated Ashley Cole. But Ashley Cole is more one of those punchable face kind of thing.
That's a bit harsh.
Just
A
born
little
smug,
bit, a little bit.
born with a smug looking face. He just, just always looks like a smug prick. Plus, he
Yeah.
was, he's going around with
I
Cheryl
can't,
Cole.
Brian. I can't say anything about him because I live amongst these men. You know what I mean? I know his brother, so I can't say anything bad.
Okay,
Sorry,
let's
man.
talk shit about,
I had to
let's
say
talk
that. You
shit
know what I
about
mean? I
Ashley
don't want
Cole
him
for half
watching or
an hour.
anything.
Yeah, let's talk shit about Ashley Cole for half an hour or so. Okay. No, okay. We'll leave you. We'll leave you in peace. So, yeah, we'll make sure you can go out. We'll make sure you can go out tomorrow.
Oh shit.
Okay. Well, I'll go with Evra. So I'll go with Evra then as well.
Evra? Okay,
Yeah.
let me see. Let me see if Evra is in the Legends list. No.
No.
Ugh,
Okay, it has to be
No.
Cole then if he's not on there. That's cool.
let's see.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
just
there.
trying to think while you're looking
At the
up.
top,
There's
at the
any
top.
random any other kind of random.
It has to be Cole just by default. Yeah, Evra's
It's just
not.
the way he looks, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it has to be Cole. But we will have a special place on the bench for Evra. How about that? If we're gonna make a bench, we could put him on the bench.
Yeah.
Midfield, fun time. Here comes the fun selections, because there's a lot of people that I could think of off the top of my head that could be in this midfield. Again, doesn't matter if they play necessarily, as long as they play in the midfield, we can stick them into this. Okay, this isn't like again, just in case some of the people that are popping in right now that might be a little bit late to the party.
Let's just say, for example, that 12-man we'll pick can absolutely play on the right wing. If you want to just pull your immediate, no
There's
discussion.
only one isn't there at the beginning, isn't there? It's only one.
Yeah.
It's only one.
Put him in on the right. He can play on the
please.
right.
Okay. On the right. It's it's flipped. Yeah. It's because I want to put him on the left. It's turned around, so it's going. Yeah, it's going down. That's why sometimes it messes my head.
So, yeah, the two players I think that were guaranteed to walk into this team, John Terry.
Dennis Wise? Did someone just say Dennis Wise?
Dennis Wise. Arson realizes Dennis Wise. Rasta Crab said Danny Smith.
Oh, hold on. I thought it was Bruno Fernandez. Not Bruno Fernandez.
My fault. I thought you were going with Silva.
I was with the 12th man, Bernardo.
Yeah, no, he did his big speech.
I thought.
But he did his big speech at the start about Bruno Fernandez. So I thought.
Well, we could put
Brian,
Bruno right
are we forgetting the way Bernardo Silva behaved when we won the championship, and he came out with these,
I know
pajamas in there.
I know, but what I'm worried about is Bruno's going in, and that only leaves 3 spots.
No, Bernardo and Bruno have to go in. They have to go in. There's no. I don't think there's any bigger. I don't even know what is the Rat family, but I mean, like, there's no bigger Master Splinter style player than either Bernardo or Bruno.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's no bigger villain, I think, for when you come across, when you think of City, you think of, and when you say villain, you think of Bernardo. If you say United, especially as of late, in being in today's metrics of it, Bruno's got to go in there too.
Yeah, he has to. 12 man and Brian, Anne, I think it's Anne. She just put up someone there.
Lee that's Boyer. Norman, yeah.
Lee Boyer. They put up. I don't care about Joey Butler, but Lee Boyer. Brian, remember what Lee Boyer done to us?
Yeah.
When he was coming to Liverpool.
That's an interesting shout too, right here. Rasta Crab's got Mascherano. Oh wow.
Mascherano. Does he know what show we're from?
Neil Ruddock.
Is he watching a different show?
Yeah,
No,
I
I
think
think he's
Ross
tuned in.
Neil Ruddock.
Master Crab's tuned in. He said Danny Stiff earlier, but yeah, he's tuned in. Neil Ruddock. It's not there.
Neil Ruddock is like a cult hero for Liverpool. Oh man,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
brilliant.
yeah.
That's brilliant. I like that one, Neil Ruddock.
We can just I think it's safe. We can put how about we put Bernardo and Bruno both on the right side? How about that? Is that okay?
Okay. If it's okay with Brian as well.
Yeah, Brian, you cool with that?
I'm not cool with Bernardo Silva only because it means I have to leave out someone that I hate.
Wow. So you who would you have
got another
over
one?
if you would sooner see? I'd like to know who you have over.
We'll
Who's a
see how
bigger
the
heel?
four lands on. We'll see
What's
who the
that?
four lands on. We'll see what the four is at the end.
Yeah.
And then I'll say.
We can debate to see if someone gets bumped out or or solidified here. How about we do have an Arsenal guy in the chat. But I don't know if I even maybe I won't bring him up here. How about Højbjerg? Højbjerg, right? No. From Spurs.
No.
I know I keep saying Spurs players, but I mean like
Nah.
no,
really,
he's not that.
bro.
He's not on that level. Okay.
Nah.
Okay. Let's see who else. Rodri. Or, because we are playing a 4-4-2. Do you want to? Can we put someone that
12?
You could put a winger.
Funny,
You could possibly put. I guess we could put someone that plays right wing, but right? Couldn't we do that? That plays right wing, but we could put him in the midfield so we could have two strikers still.
Brian wanted someone, didn't he? 12. Brian wanted someone in there. Who's
Oh
the
wow!
player,
Here's a good shout. Good shout. Rasta Crab.
Joe Linton. These are For me, Joey Barton. I have to have Joey Barton.
What's the reasons for that though, bro?
It's not just for hating us, but like basically, yeah. See, I've gone more into the kind of the villains kind of thing than kind of focusing on why we hate. But yeah, like that guy, well, he blinded somebody. He put somebody else in hospital and went to prison for it.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's been acting like a proper wanker for the last 10 years. Like, he went around trying to hurt people, kick people all the time. He was a horrible, horrible person. But yeah, he'd be in the more awesome. But if I want to get with the spirit of this one a bit more in terms of like people that we hate, I don't know. Like, we've got Bernardo, we've got Bruno in there. The more recent kind of things, like even I don't know. You see, I'm gone old school. I'm going like Robbie Savage, Joey Barton. I've gone too old school on this. So more recent.
I'm trying to keep some of the youngins in the chat still involved with some of the choices too. That's why. Yeah.
All these kids in the chat.
Yeah.
Like Rasta Crab. Who really gets under your fucking skin?
Dennis Wise.
That's still a while away, that one, isn't it? Dennis Wise.
The sumo, maybe. JK has Keon could be on the bench. Okay. I think Joe Linton is a good. That's a good shout too.
That's a good
to be
shout,
honest with you.
He's
He's absolute. Like, whenever we come up against him, he is going to do. He's going to be in someone's face. He's going to be, trying to get yellow cards, red cards. He's going to do like little shots in the back and some dirty little actions here or there. That's coming from him every time.
Yeah.
Every time.
Spot on.
I'm gonna another left winger that I'll put in would be Craig Bellamy.
Yes. Yeah. It could be players that play for us that have gone on to be like
we We
you
said
know,
it at the
going on
start.
to be that guy.
Okay.
A couple of people
I
are
think
going
that
to
would
get
be kind of
mentioned.
cool.
What about
To do.
Sterling? What about Sterling, guys? That's an interesting one, eh?
You're trying to steal my thunder, man. You're trying to steal my thunder.
Sorry, man. Sorry, bro.
No,
Sorry.
as I say, yeah, I was saying wingers. I was just making it sure.
Apologies,
I
guys.
mean, like, yeah, because there's Sterling. That you could maybe even throw in like Grealish in that shout. You could put in Anthony in that shout. That's what I was trying to say. Anthony's someone that I despise. You know.
Yeah, but Sterling never tried to beat up your favorite left back with a golf club, pal. So how can you put Sterling in over Craig Bellamy?
Because I saw him get in the face of Joe Gomez as if he didn't recognize.
And Joe Gomez picked him up like a little kid. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, see, I'm with JK as well. Ronaldo.
Ronaldo should be in there too.
Yeah, it should be.
Diego Costa. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Big,
we forgot
big
about
shout out.
Great shout.
Oh, great shout.
Hated that striker. Really.
We're not even at. I know we're not even at forwards yet. Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Great shout.
I think we need a shout for the centre mid. Like, could I get an old school in there with Joe? I think Joey Barton got a lot of love at the chat for. I mean, a lot of hate. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Would anyone disagree with Joey Barton? Like, I'm willing to leave. You know, I'm willing to go for a more like a Rodri or something. You know, but he doesn't. I don't hate Rodri. I don't. You know, I don't care enough about these guys. They're like.
I don't know about Rodri. I had I had as a nominee, but Rodri's not that guy that makes me go, oh, like.
I hate
it makes my blood boil seeing him play against us.
That's true.
I just trying to think real arsehole central midfielder. Or he doesn't even an attacking mid type guy that really.
Who did we used to hate a lot back in the day then?
Yeah, I don't know if
we're not really a hate. We're not a hate club, Fozzy. That's the thing.
Not a hate.
We love. We give flowers. We give flowers. We
can keep it as like who was a villain? Yeah, who was that villain?
People wind us up, you know. If people really come at us, you know, we'll mark the card and we'll remember your name. But we don't we appreciate good footballers.
I get you. Like, you know what? At times, you know what? Like, go ahead, Brian.
No, I was just saying, like, I saw a show for Roy Keane there earlier on, but I couldn't have that. You know, obviously I couldn't have that. Like, one of the best midfielders ever to play in the Premier League. Yeah, like, you could throw in a Vinny Joe. I just think Joey Barton takes the cake, you know, because he spoke in a French accent for no reason when he went to Marseille. When he was speaking English. He did an interview in English and started speaking in a French accent. Like,
wow, yeah, look at this too. That's a shout. That's an interesting shout. Yeah.
I didn't dislike Fernandinho. It wasn't.
Rasta crap. Go and educate yourself, my friend. Go and educate yourself. I think Roy Keane was just dirty. I just think he was dirty. Paul Scholes.
Brian, I'll go with you. I'll go with you. Joey Barton. I'll go with you, bro.
Yeah,
all right. You might have to find because he's not going to be in this list. I know it.
The strikers are going to be interested, though. 12 man and Brian. The strikers is going
to be interesting. For sure, for sure. There's not even a
they're going to run out.
Not even a Barton name, you know, placeholder for him in the list.
Misha Barton. Remember her?
No.
Barton. Barry, anything. Yeah.
There's no like it's. Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's anyone close to that name.
Nope. So wow.
I'll figure out a way to get it in there. And then I'm thinking of because I don't have a name. I can't find a name in here for it.
Just use Rodri for now, innit? Rodri. Just use him for
yeah. I'll just use Rodri as being the name, being the placeholder for it. All right, let me bring this back up there. All right. We should. Or no, wait. Yeah, I know we should. I know who we'll use. Yep. I'm sorry. That guy, he's one of those guys that if he was playing for your team, you'd be like, oh, I love him. He's not playing for your team, you're like, oh, I hate him. You know, that's basically what it is.
But you know what it is, guys. Like if you look at Joe Linton, he doesn't like just target one team. He's enemy to everyone.
Oh, he's an enemy for he's a pure villain. He's a true villain. Because that's the thing. It's one thing for players that are just villains against your team. Yeah. Another thing when you're a villain against
everybody. Yeah.
The entire you can go no matter what. Like Arsenal for Life, for instance, is putting up your that name as a nomination. For instance, you know, like as in that alone says something about you.
The best thing about Joe Linton is they bought him for 45 million quid, thinking he was a striker.
Yeah, that was funny. That was funny, mate.
Yeah.
That was funny.
And then they ended up playing him in midfield, and he turned out to be like a midfield destroyer type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they gave him the number 9 shirt. They gave him the number 9 shirt. He'd never played as
the Alan Shearer shirt. I remember.
Yeah, he's like, thanks, lads. You know, just give me the most iconic shirt in the club. But I've scored just stupid stuff. That was Newcastle. Back in the day, Lingard, Garnacho, or Rashford. Yeah, Jesse Lingard. Jesse Lingard, without a doubt, would annoy the shit out of you. Hate, I don't know, but definitely annoy the absolute shit out of you.
Oh, big up. Pops.
Oh, Pops. More so, I'd say if I was a United fan, I probably would have been annoyed by Jesse Lingard even more. Because he just looked like he was taking the piss most of the time. And then when he needed a contract or he needed a move, he'd go and score 15 goals and get a big contract and then just do shit all for another 2 years. Just, yeah, you don't need people like that.
Well, then who are we gonna put on there? Who are we gonna put on as a? It could be either a left mid. We could put him as maybe even a left wing.
I'm Sterling all the way. Or someone just put Diouf at the El Hadj Diouf. You know what I mean? That was one of the worst.
Yeah. I would shoehorn Juve in on the left to allow me to get 2 more strikers. I'd put Juve in on the. He is. Yeah, I was going, like I was saying, there's 2 players I was going to punish, put up for debate, and it was going to be Bellamy. More the fact that I absolutely hated Bellamy before he joined us, and it really pissed me off when he did join us. And
Tevez, big shout out. People, I'm telling you, this is why the chat's undefeated. It's some saying the names that I have on my list, but they're beating me to the punch. Tevez.
My side would be 2 anyway on the left.
What's that?
Juve on the left. That would be that would
be your shout.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a shout for Diouf, and then we have who? Fozzie, who was your shout?
I said Sterling, but I'll go with Brian. Yeah, El Hadj Diouf.
He's won you
gracious me, mate. Yeah, get him in, mate. Get him in, please.
Yeah, he has to be in.
Right.
Yeah,
it has to be in. It has to.
He went an entire season without scoring a goal. Like, and he played the entire. He went an entire. His last season. Went the entire season without scoring a goal.
Oh. I mean, okay, hold on a second.
Put in Diouf, that guy, because
there you go at the bottom.
Yeah, the guy at the bottom, Diouf, that'll work.
It's not him, but we'll take it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think he's in the list. I was about to make sure. All right. Yeah. But there were some shouts. Maybe we'll keep like how many guys do you want to keep for the bench? You want to do a couple bench players too, so we can get some honorary mentions.
Sterling has to be in there. Sterling has to be in there, guys. Surely to
give it a classic goalkeeper and 5-man bench.
Okay, goalkeeper plus 5-man bench. Okay.
Honorable mention.
Okay. All right. So now we're at the fun part. The fun part. I think Rasta Crab's shout was arguably possibly one of the best shouts all night. Yeah. That Diego Costa was an absolute heel, no matter what team he played against. Beijing Pops is getting a shout for him too. Plus Big
There's,
Dunk.
there's only one person for me, guys, that the first spot, and I've got to be real,
Ronaldo
man.
could be in there too.
Owen, man. Owen has to be in there, guys.
Owen
Marco
could be
Owen.
in there. Yes. I mean, if you, yeah. Balotelli could be in there, even though he was on my, I like
Duncan
Balotelli,
Ferguson. Wow, JK.
but Duncan Ferguson.
That's an enemy.
Ferguson.
A big enemy, that is.
Yeah.
Well, I know it's all.
Suarez is a shout too. That's exactly who I was going to say, man. I get people love Luis Suarez, but I mean, like, I'm going to be honest.
He left, yeah.
The way he left, the way that he was like, and it made the win against Barcelona that year when we were down, we were down by so many goals against them, and we won at Anfield. He was taking pure delight. He was taking pure delight in every last bit of those goals.
That's what we signed. I said it to people at the time. Stop being so butthurt by that, because that kind of mentality and that kind of attitude is the reason he scored all those goals for us. That is Luis Suarez. Did you not see what we bought? Like, did you not see? It was like, I couldn't understand. Like, I wouldn't be at all surprised if he come back to Liverpool, scored a hat-trick, and gave it 2 fingers to the cop. That's Luis Suarez. That's just the mentality that goes with making him the kind of player he was. Pushed him over the edge. He doesn't care who he offends. He doesn't care what he offended the entire nation of Ghana that World Cup. Saves the penalty with turns around and said, like, that guy was the world's biggest shithead. Don't be surprised when he does it to Liverpool 2 minutes after he leaves, because that's just, to me, it didn't offend me. It was just like, yeah, that's him. That's that guy. That's whatever I love thing. For me, I think everyone, it's great. Like, or it's a great shout. Obviously, Costa, and Costa would be sort of, most sort of top of a lot of those kind of lists. But for me, it's the other Chelsea striker. I hated Drogba. Absolutely hated
could be a villain. Could be as a shout for villain.
Oh man, he used to dive and all that shit before everyone else. He was Diego Costa before Diego Costa, but not quite as over the top. He was much, but to me, Drogba was almost worse. But
Rooney's a shout too. Rooney's a shout.
Yeah.
Rooney is a shout.
I just can't believe there's not enough Michael Owens out there. That's what I can't believe.
Michael Owens a shout.
He was an asshole. Still an asshole. If you watch him on Ref Watch.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he's a weirdo. But Buzz, I'll ask you a question. Now, this isn't like a pointed question, but
go on, brother.
Because I always ask this: when people look back and they always talk about the way that he left, right? He left when he knew himself he was done, right? By the time he was 20, his first injury, he knew his pace, he knew his past his peak, his best.
Yeah.
21.
Yeah.
Okay, he wins a Ballon d'Or at 22, right? He's 25 when he leaves us, right? We got a fee for him, right?
About 8 million or something like that.
Yeah, because there was only like a year left, right?
And
I know it was
Nunes guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, don't even mention that bit. So that was, I get it. Like I get it. I was just as pissed off as everybody. Yeah. But Steve McManaman left on a free before Owen. Steve McManaman walked out of the club. We didn't get a penny. I think he was our first ever player to leave on a free. Like that.
It was, yeah.
And nobody ever criticizes him for it. Like nobody ever gives it, like, it's just he gets no hate whatsoever. But everybody's like, oh, Owen, I
know what you mean about Michael.
Yeah.
Steve McManaman. It did hurt, but I think he left around 28. He was at 28 when he left. I think he gave most of his career to Liverpool, didn't he? From the youth level.
Probably 27, 20. Yeah.
So that's why people wasn't like upset about it. You know what I mean? As much as Michael Owen. You know what I mean? Because Michael Owen, come on, he won the Ballon d'Or. You know what I mean? At Liverpool Football Club. No other player's ever done that. And the way he just left, you know, and then the worst part of it is he said, if it doesn't work out at Real Madrid, I'll come back. Like we're second, you know, like we're second fiddle club or something like that. I mean, that's disrespectful. You get what I'm saying? You can't disrespect Liverpool Football Club like that. I don't care if you're Real Madrid. You don't do that. You don't say that. I'll come back if it doesn't work out for me at Real Madrid. Come on. Oh, man. And then he goes to Man United after that, guys. And then we're going to sit here and say it's okay.
The United thing. The United thing, I think, is what really pushed people over the edge. I think a
No,
lot of
you know
people
what?
would have kind of forgotten about him. Really,
No.
if he had just fished up at Stoke or Newcastle and never done the joining Man United bit, I don't think he'd be anywhere near as hated as he is. But I know it's like it did really sting at the time. But we know now, looking back, he knew he wasn't the same player. He lost his hamstrings had gone, you know. But he just because he's an idiot, like he shouldn't have a microphone in front of him. Yeah, he really shouldn't say things like, if you put a microphone in front of him, he's just like going to say stupid things to just offend.
He's just dumb. He's dumb. He's dumb. I realized that he's got no brain, man. He's dumb. He's just there's nothing
he
upstairs.
really is an oddball. Like, so it's his short-term career at Liverpool is one of the best that there ever was.
I'll tell you what's funny about this so far, that we've got some great nominations for these last two positions, but what's really interesting is, again, I guess you can't go by a thumbnail, huh? But but the pigeon, the fact that the pigeon hasn't been mentioned yet.
Oh,
by the
Charleston.
chat.
Oh, damn.
By the chat, I can't believe the pigeon has not been mentioned yet.
Oh,
the Pigeon King needs to have a shout. I'm sorry.
He needs a mention.
He definitely needs a shout.
But you know, Torf, man, the way Brian just summed it up well about Suarez. Brian, you're a genius. I'm telling you, the way you summed it up, the way you talked about Suarez. He said Suarez. What do you expect from him? What you see is what you get from day one.
No,
you know what I mean,
yeah,
so
right.
he was never going to change. You know what I mean? You can't change people like that, and he's 100% right. This is why I don't nominate Suarez, because we knew what he was. He's just he's just a madman.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he was never going to change. He was never going to change.
See, even Pop says Richarlison is a waste. See what I mean? Like, it's like Bajan Pops earlier asked what it is. What's the definition of a villain? And I just think that like that. It's the kind of player that when you see him on the pitch, it's that you get that visceral like, oh, I just hate that guy.
Yeah,
he's like.
Yeah, it is. It's like, ugh.
Yeah, like, oh God, like
no words for it.
It's like, for instance, I was watching a broadcast or watching a replay. Sometimes it's the worst.
Forgotten honorable mention for midfield. Sorry, just one more. Samir Nasri. Can't believe
yes, good shout, that one.
Good shout.
Samir, you got to win with one. Next time, Samir.
Next time. Yeah, no, I mean, like, it was interesting because, like, I watched the fan reactions. You ever see those shows? You ever see those there's like these little clips that they'll do where they'll do like they'll do all the like watch alongs, they'll clip them up for like the goal reactions. And it's kind of funny because, I mean, often more than not, we're on the positive end when it comes to these big games and being depicted in these videos. And there was a shot of when Anthony scored against us in the FA Cup. And I think it was Redman TV, the Redman TV broadcast. You heard him go, oh, not him. You just heard him say, anyone but him. It's like that kind of that's a villain to me. That's that guy where you just like you don't want to see your get scored. You don't want to see your team get scored on. But there's just certain players where you're just like, it can't be that guy. It just can't be that guy. There is some shouts here. This is a good shout. That's a good shout.
Layman.
Two good shouts. Good
shouts.
Yeah.
Okay.
I kind of just
that's by an Arsenal. That's by an Arsenal supporter too.
No, Adebayor. Yeah, Adebayor definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would wind you up on a good day. He'd wind you up.
Mhm. Yeah.
You see, the thing about
Um,
some of these boys is this. The thing about some of these boys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is we're
ooh,
guys on
Anelka?
the margin.
Anelka, maybe? I'm sorry,
Just some
Brian.
of the guys on the margins is that what makes the difference in kind of like hate and respect is some of these
Mhm.
guys that were wind up merchants and all that, they could actually back it up. They could
Yeah.
actually do it on the pitch and back it up. Whereas
Yeah.
some of these boys that are total wind up merchants and assholes, they don't have the talent to go with it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Those are the guys that you have no respect for. Whereas someone like even Suarez, opposition fans, they'd hate the guy, but they'd be like, Jesus Christ, he can back it up. Like, Ronaldo, Cristiano Ronaldo, yeah, you'd hate him, but he delivered.
Right.
Whereas
You
some of
take
these other,
Ronaldo in a heartbeat. You take Ronaldo in a
yeah,
heartbeat in pure
Joey
ability
Barton,
alone.
like what
Yeah.
we're talking about, Joey Barton was one of the biggest arseholes of all time ever playing in the Premier League, and he was bang average. Like that
Yeah.
guy was bang average, and
But he
he
knew,
thought he was
yeah.
special,
Yeah.
and he carried himself like he was, yeah. But compared to us three on a five-a-side pitch, he's going to destroy us. But in the
Mm-hmm.
Premier League, he was absolutely nothing. This guy, but to
Mhm.
carry on the way he did, then yeah. But like I say, with somebody, you have like a grudging respect for somebody because, well, look, he did the business every week. So
Yeah. I mean,
that's why
Tevez
somebody.
is one of those players that's
Oh,
very much, he's an absolute dog of a player, as in like you would love to have him on your team. But going up
yeah.
against him, he was a villain. He was that guy that you hated to see, and you didn't want to see him. You knew he was going to play hard. He was going to play. He was going to be at times put your own players in compromised positions, but at other times also give him shots or give him or maybe do a dirty play here or there, or try to incite your player to get taken off the pitch.
I
Those
feared
players are
him.
just like those villains.
Yeah.
That's what I meant by villains.
Okay. Okay.
Prime Tevez, man. Oh, you did not want to play against him.
You didn't.
Oh
You
my
absolutely
God.
didn't. You absolutely didn't.
I
And the
wish we
fact
got
that
him
he
with
walked
Mascherano,
out then.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. If we could have swung that one,
Mm-hmm.
like in fairness,
Genius move it would have been.
yeah, in fairness, at least we got mashed, and he did a super job. But I thought Tevez would have been perfect for us. But the way he
Yeah.
walked out on United to go to City, I almost had to stand up and applaud that.
That was
Like
funny.
the look on Ferguson's face. Can you imagine the look?
Imagine that. Yeah.
And then they put up
Yeah.
that big "Welcome to Manchester" thing.
Oh,
As much as I
damn. You rubbed it
hated
in
them,
even further.
as much as I hate City, man, I had to stand back and just, yeah, well played, well played.
All right. So who are we going to go for these two? Who are we going to go? We need two forwards. Who we're going to go with?
I'll go with. Let me go first, please, if you guys
Mhm.
don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll say Owen, and I'll say the chicken. That's it. I'm not gonna go further than that.
Okay. Chicken as in pigeon. Chicken of the
pigeon or whatever he
chicken,
is.
whatever we're gonna call it.
He's got everything in it. So yeah.
Okay. Brian, who are you gonna go with?
We got caught up there. I didn't take my second one. I'm going to go with Drogba and just give me Drogba and Dunfermline.
And Bart. Wait, who'd you say?
Duncan Ferguson.
Oh, Duncan. Okay, I got you.
He hated Liverpool, that guy. God, yeah.
Spell his name right. And it's interesting. You went away from so you had Richarlison. I'm gonna make sure I have these right. And who was your second? You have Richarlison, and who else did you have?
With me
and Owen, right?
Owen, yeah.
Okay. There's some. Wow, this is really gonna be a tough one. Pigeon is irrelevant. Yeah, but you still hate him. You gotta admit that you just hate that guy. Just, oh God. Big up Stefano. Hope that you're well, man. Good to see you. I think the Rooney shout is a solid shout, guys.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a
doubt.
solid shout.
I'd be happy to swap
So
for anyone. But,
who's that?
I'd be happy to swap out Ferguson. I just kind of got pushed at the last second there. But for me, yeah, Drogba or Costa. For me, Drogba was being injured Costa, but Costa was probably even worse. So yeah, I'm happy with either of them two.
Okay, so I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna see what the chat has here. It was funny. I mean, like
Ronaldo.
I wouldn't put him. I wouldn't put Andy Carroll as a villain, but I mean, like he was certainly not well
Not up to
liked.
standards, basically. Yeah.
Right. I think because this is gonna be a long list. I'm making a list of candidates here, and then we're gonna just do it by a vote,
Well,
I guess.
Ronaldo is getting shouts there, so
I know that's why. Yeah,
I'd be happy to
Ronaldo's
have
getting
him
some
as a striker.
shouts.
Me too.
I'm trying to go as far up as possible.
I'd be happy to get Ronaldo in it. Yeah, so if
Shavin, Anelka was a shout.
no, he's a beautiful footballer.
I love Ronaldo at Liverpool. Oh,
what a footballer, man! Oh, what?
It's just Gerard Houllier didn't want him in it, Brian. Gerard Houllier didn't want to buy him in it, Brian.
And who does he buy instead? The guy that's on the left wing.
Yeah, El Hadji, because he had a good World Cup.
Let's see. I think that's all the names. Neymar got a shout too. Do I have Sterling in here? I don't. I put Sterling here. Sterling got a shout. Neymar got a shout.
A few of them, yeah. Neymar.
Neymar got a shout. I don't know. Neymar was never necessarily like he dives a lot.
How many times did we watch him?
Despicable for that crap.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I never really looked at him as like being an outright like, I can't stand seeing him across the pitch from us. Foden got a shout.
Good shout.
Just for the haircut, yeah. Just for the haircut alone.
Just for the haircut alone.
I mean, you make 250 grand a week, and that's the best you can get. Okay.
Let me make sure I spelled it right. All right, so there's a lot of names on here. We're gonna have to figure it out as to how we're gonna get down to just. There's only 2 positions left, and there's at least like 12 names on here or something like that. 10, 12 names. Like I'm just taking down some of these candidates that are all good candidates. I'm sorry.
They are.
Some of these guys are really good candidates. Go ahead.
I think Diego Costa got the majority of the shouts.
I think Diego Costa did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so he has to go. Oops.
And maybe Ronaldo then after that, I think might have got the most in the chat anyway. And I'd be happy with Ronaldo because, Ronaldo in this team.
I don't think Diego's playing anymore. I don't. Yeah.
He's only just. He should be. He should be still playing. No, not according to the supercomputer. But he was playing with Wolves on recently.
Yeah, he was playing with Wolves. That's what I thought.
Yeah. Shadow of the player he was. But again, one of those guys, and like you said it, you were talking about, and I don't want to. We won't bring it up and go into it again. But the thing at the start with Bruno about how he didn't get sent off. This is like your inspiration for this list was how much Bruno Fernandes annoyed you. Saying he didn't get sent off, but like you've also put up the fact that he's never been sent off.
Yeah,
I mean, that like, and Diego Costa was never sent off for Chelsea. Everyone thinks that guy got like 7. The guy was never sent off for Chelsea.
Yeah.
Now I'm probably going to be proved wrong on that one, but maybe not in the league or something. But everyone always thought of him being, getting sent off and causing fights. But he was the king of getting a yellow card and then causing chaos, but then just standing on the line and not crossing it. Like he was the king of provoking other people into doing things rather than doing stuff himself. That guy was kind of a genius when you think about it. You wouldn't, not quite, you'd want him playing for your team. But yeah, he had a different attitude, different way of playing the game. I thought, you don't like these robot players, so he had something about him. But yeah, managed to actually always stay on the pitch.
I don't think that
You
there's
know,
a there's unfortunately I don't think there is a. Oh wait, hold on, maybe no. There's no. He's not in the list, but I'll just put this Diego Costa
Yeah, that guy
as a placeholder. He's just a placeholder. Some of the names on this list, despite the fact that they are on this list, aren't. I hope that if I get clipped up here, that they understand that they have that. They make that that it's noted that this is obviously not that player, but he's not in the database for me to pick. Who's all right? So in this list, okay. Go ahead.
Did you forget about that defender Pepe, the ex-Real Madrid?
No, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say. I was just about. Everyone's stealing my thunder today. I was going to.
That's a villain. That's a villain. If you talk about villains, that's a villain.
You talk about villain. Yes, dark arts. I mean, like certainly so. Definitely, certainly so. Yes, yeah. You got to put him down there. Who else was I going to say is someone? Let's see real quick. All right, so this is the list. This is the nominations. We're going to have to pick one more because we're going to get into our manager, which has got a nice little list to it as well. This is the list that we get to pick from for this last position. Diego Costa is going to be one of the starting forwards. The other forward can be Drogba, Duncan Ferguson, Richarlison, Michael Owen, Ronaldo, Rooney, Balotelli, Sterling, Jack Grealish, Foden, Suarez. Who are we putting in that list right there? Who are we voting for? Who are we voting for?
Ronaldo. Everybody, yeah.
Ronaldo. Yeah. It's gonna be Ronaldo. Yep. There was a shout for Rooney. Did I not? I had Owen in there. Did I not put Rooney in there?
close.
I said Rooney. I said okay. Just making sure. Yeah.
Just for
a lot of shots for Ronaldo. Norman got a shot for Rooney. McTow got a shot for Owen. Norman picked Tracy Neville as the physio. Okay. Oh man. All right. Well, how about we move on to? We said we're going to do it, so let's do it. A manager. I'm sure there are some managers that are going to definitely get there, but I'll nominate 4 people real quick off the top of my head that I think should be in the candidates at least, and then you guys can tell me if you see someone or if I'm wrong with one or if you want to add one or not add one. I put Mourinho in there. I put Ferguson, Simeone, and the last manager I had in there, who I absolutely cannot stand.
Go on.
Frank Lampard.
After what he done in the
after,
yeah.
He did it when it was that was like during the pandemic era.
Yes, yeah.
So there was no one in the stands, and you could hear everything he was saying.
Sad, isn't it?
Sad. Absolutely a disgrace what he was saying to Jurgen. Absolutely disgrace. Everyone's just like, calm down, guy. Like, we get it. You got a lot of pressure on your shoulders, but dag, man, like, what are you doing?
Yeah, that was bad.
That was bad, man.
Yeah,
that was bad. So who are we gonna go with? And there was a shout for Southgate as being but he's not. He's the England manager. He's not. I got you, Rustic.
I love that one.
Stan, oh yeah, Big Sam could be a shout. Big Sam could be a shout.
Fergie's bodyguard, isn't it, Brian?
Yeah.
Oh wait, bodyguard. Who was the? It wasn't Big Sam. Who was the manager that went? He went against us when we were trying to get. I think he was like going against us when we were trying to get 5 subs when Jurgen was going on about the 5 subs, and he kept like, what was his name?
You talking about Chris
You remember
Wilder?
that? Was it Wilder? Was it Wilder?
Yeah, I think it's Chris Wilder from Sheffield United, didn't it? You talking about him?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
Was it?
Or you know who else could be maybe in there too is oh, now I'm gonna go blank on the name too.
I remember like Wilder was making some silly statements and everybody was going mad about it. I think
Yeah,
it is a good
yeah,
one.
it was Wilder.
Well, he's back at Sheffield United. They're getting relegated now, so
Yeah,
yeah.
we could maybe even throw in there. You could possibly throw in there Tuchel too, maybe.
I don't like him.
Okay.
That's a straight one,
like
isn't it? I don't like him.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
You know
don't
what
like
I mean?
him.
That's what I'm talking about. That's a villain. That's a villain.
Yeah, well,
Someone,
no, he
you just say the name, you're like, don't like him.
I don't like him.
Yeah, he can play like the
I like
bad
that.
guy.
I like that.
Yeah, the bad guy in one of those old timey movies, like with
Mhm.
a cape and a top hat. He's one of those guys. He's just got one of those faces. It's like, yeah, I don't want him at,
He just copies Klopp, innit? He just copies Klopp. That's what he does, doesn't he? He just copies our manager
Yeah.
every time. It's getting boring.
Yeah.
now.
Fuzz,
Mhm.
he's got a comb over him. You cannot trust someone with a comb over. It's 2024. The
Just
comb
let it
over.
go. Yeah. You're going
That
balls,
is
my guy.
true, you
Come
know.
on,
That is
man.
true, man.
It makes me just dodgy, man. He's just dodgy.
Yeah, he has that Bobby Charlton about him, innit, man?
Yeah, it's like,
hell.
you see him in a picture of the '66 World Cup squad. Yeah, they all had that haircut back then.
Mhm.
Oh god.
And he's surrounded by, all these, like, young footballers and stuff. Like, the way young kids
Mhm.
are today. You got a hair out of place, man, they'll rip you to shreds. And he's there. He's got the balls to walk into a locker room with Neymar with a fucking comb over. I always respect it. Do you imagine what they're saying about him?
I'm telling you, man.
No,
Freaking hell.
yeah, it's just little things, man. Little things.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The manager for me, I like Frank. I like Frank Lampard as that, because just like he's that guy that was
True blue.
well,
He's just
great,
a true blue.
well, great player, but like the stories about him getting the Derby job, like Frank Lampard or Harry Redknapp bringing up basically like 4 coaches lost their job in the championship, and he rang him every time he rang one of these guys up. He said,
Yeah.
you should give it to Frank, you should give it to Frank, you should give it to Frank. And eventually he gets through, like Mel Morris, Derby, who he's mates with. And he's like,
Yeah.
you got to give Frank a job. So it's like the definition of, jobs for the boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Redknapp ringing up big, like Derby, man. Like Derby have won. Derby used to be a huge club. And you've got these guys, oh, give Frank a job. My nephew Frank, he's just stopped playing. He needs a job. Yeah, one of the biggest clubs in English football, historically, Derby County.
Mhm.
This kind of
You
stuff.
know what, Brian? You're right. That's one thing I was speaking about it today in my stream, and I said it. With the modern day people, they disrespect these teams, a lot. Like these teams have more championships than any other teams, and people don't even know that. You look at Spurs. I think they've only won 1 or 2, championships in their entire history, and we talk about them like they're top 6. While Everton is on, like, was it 9 or 8 or something like that? It's just the disrespect to these, like, other clubs. It's appalling, in my opinion, man. I don't really like that, because they've done a
Nottingham
lot.
Forest.
Yeah,
Nottingham Forest
two
with 2
Champions
European
Leagues
Cups.
back to back they've won, and
Knocked
people
us out.
disrespect them like that.
Knocked us out. Knocked one of the best Liverpool teams ever out of the European Cup to go and win it.
Look at that.
Aston Villa, European Cups. They don't, man. They forget
But
about
do you get
how
what I'm
big
saying,
some-
Brian? The disrespect to
Yeah.
these clubs is just disgusting, in my opinion.
And like you were saying, the kind of talking about other clubs like they're big clubs that have never ever
Tottenham.
done that.
What have Tottenham done? What have Tottenham done, bro? Please explain that to me. What is their history? 1 championship in their entire history, and we're talking about them like the top 6. Come on.
Yeah, I
It's a
think
joke.
1955.
Joke, man.
think 1955 or something. I think that sticks in my head for when they won a league, and then they won it. They won the Carling Cup
They've won 2.
there
Yeah.
with 08. I think something like 08. I think with Robbie Keane. They won the League Cup as well. That's pretty much it in the modern era, and in all eras. Like, to me, Tottenham was always this team that were always in the league, and they always played kind of really good attacking football, and always had great players. Like, always had Glenn Hoddle,
Come on,
Gascoigne,
I
Ginola.
remember that.
They loved creative wingers. They were, when
Yes.
it didn't matter about winning, it wasn't winning as everything. They had some of the best players. Like, Spurs were a great team.
They did. Yeah.
But they
Ozzy
weren't
Aldilas,
a winning, exactly. They weren't like a winning team or a top team, but they always had brilliant football.
Yeah.
Modric, like
Bale.
that's Tottenham to me. Just kind of 6th and 7th. But great players and maybe the odd cup. But yeah, even then, they don't even win that. Like, so, like again, like Forest, man, they have 2 stars on their jersey for a reason. They don't get to do that for no reason.
Exactly, Brian. I just don't. I don't get it, man. The disrespect. I just don't get that. I mean, and especially when Tottenham come out of nowhere trying to make fun of us as well when they try to banter us. I think to myself, what are you actually bantering, man? You can't banter Liverpool Football Club with 2 championships. You've only won 2 in your entire history, and you're bantering Liverpool Football Club? Nah, man. It's too much disrespect from that club. Too much, man. Sorry, 12. Sorry about that.
No worries. No, I enjoy the stories and everything else. Let's see. I think it's a runaway with who won this. From the vote in the chat, I think it's pretty much a runaway. It's got to be this gentleman right here. Hope you can see that picture of him. SAF.
Drum roll. Did he win outright? Did he?
He won. Yeah. I mean, I was looking at it and it was like, even people that put their nominations in, they would all come back and say, but it's got to be, it's got to be Alex Ferguson.
It has to be.
Yeah, it looks like that. I kind of would have. I know that we didn't see him other than possibly in the in Champions League. I think that the sheer fact that they knocked us out of Champions League that year really hurt even more. Simeone is just, I just can't stand that guy.
I kind of like his style though. I like the black.
The man in black, isn't it? Yeah.
The man in black. Yeah.
You know who's a good shot as well.
I mean, Stefano says it right here, and I'll let you. I'll come right back to you, Fozzie. It just says it has to be Whiskey Nose. He ruined our years in the 90s and the 2000s. I mean, those are some. That was a dark era for us.
Yeah, we should discuss Alex Ferguson. Like when people say he's the greatest manager that ever lived and all this, blah blah blah.
A lot of people like Simeone.
What I want to ask about Alex Ferguson to you two is how do you consider a great manager? What does he have to win? That's to you and Brian. So I was discussing it earlier, obviously, on my stream, and I was looking at it yes, he won 13 titles, great, but has he dominated Europe? No. So do you consider that as the best manager that ever lived?
It depends on also whether you're the best. If you're dominating possibly one of the best, or at the time the best league in Europe, then
it wasn't at the time though. It wasn't at the time. Italian.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying that's one criteria I would say. As in, I get it. The Bundesliga actually is a good league in the sense of some good players, but I mean the way it's constructed, it's almost like you can almost win the title with Bayern Munich by default almost. I know they're not doing it this year, but I mean it was handed to them last year, simply under those pretenses, just simply because I don't know what it is, but You know, it's not necessarily a major accomplishment, you know,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
get that accreditation. But I mean, for you to do it in this league, or do it in a league that has that kind of like parity, I would say says more about your ability as a coach and what you can bring out of the players. And also, I think if you can, I'm the kind of guy that when it comes to rating coaches, I also, if you're given a silver spoon in your mouth type deal, you know, you have the silver spoon in your mouth type deal, as opposed to, do you have to, like, you know, pull your bootstraps up kind of concept and really put together a team and really work out like, you know, the disadvantages, or if you want to call them the advantages that you don't have, you have to figure out a way to get to surmount them. That makes more of a, for me. But how about you, Brian?
Well, yeah, great. Like, it's what is your definition of great is kind of is always a difficult one. But as much as I hate the guy, I mean, 86. Yeah, what he comes out like he's a poor 7 years. He wins. He does things with Aberdeen that I've never done since. So he's clearly a proper manager, a proper coach. Comes down, takes over, and then basically it's what you're talking about is, for me, the level of achievement plus, like Pop said, proper longevity.
Yeah.
So to do what he did for as long as he did, he can't be anything other than probably the greatest manager in Premier League history. For me, just in terms of what he's achieved, what he's won, how he kept doing it year after year, all the players, all those things. He has to go down as, you know, as much as I hate to say it, he does have to go down as one of the greatest. You know, there's no one will ever do that again. The 20 years, like, but like, if you want to measure, like, however you want, if you want to measure by trophies, he's obviously a great manager. If you want to measure by what players they played for him, said about him, well, I'll say he's the greatest, the best. Yeah. You know, I don't really see. Yeah. No, I couldn't see anywhere against.
Sorry, mate.
I just can't see any way. I can't see any way of picking him apart. You know, I can't think of some way to say, "Oh, he wasn't that great."
It's like when you describe a footballer. You know, like in the modern era, we give world class to anyone, don't we? We don't really look deep into that, do we? Do we look at the international football, how that player is? Not really. He could play well in the Premier League, probably in the Champions League, and then we just say he's world class. You know what I mean? But to me, when you look at a world class player, he's got to be doing it in all fronts. You know what I mean? The Premier League, Champions League, and the international stage. And nowadays we don't give. I mean, we don't have to look into things like that for some reason. So this is why I say they throw the world class things like that. But when I look at Ferguson, to be considered the greatest manager that ever lived, you've got to look at the eras as well. You know what I mean? That era, who was he actually challenging, Brian? I mean, there was no one about. You look at the Bob Paisley era. He challenged so many great managers along those years. And he won so many trophies in such a short time. And that's why I say Bob Paisley is disrespected in regards to, you know, what he done in 9 years. You know, when they talk about Fergie and him. So, but if you like, you know, look, if you put them side by side, and you know, you look at the years they've done, you know, this you know, challenging for titles and all that stuff. Bob Paisley will go like head and, you know, he'll go above Ferguson. You know what I mean? Such a short time, like what he's won is always going to be ahead of Fergie if you look at the time scale and all that stuff. That's what I'm trying to say, guys. But like I said, if you look at Ferguson, like, he's won 2 Champions Leagues in a span of 10 years. So it took 10 years apart to win a Champions League. Bob Paisley did it back to back and plus another one after that, and the UEFA Cup as well. People don't know about. So he's won the UEFA Cup as well. But yet people disrespect Bob Paisley's, you know, achievements. That's what I'm trying to say. If you look at the time scale, in such a short time, Bob Paisley actually done a remarkable job. And I said to you, like, look at the era Bob Paisley was in. There was great managers, great players, different type of football compared to, you know, this, you know, AstroTurf pitches nowadays. They're just smooth, aren't they, and all that stuff. But yeah, that's what I look at. You got to dominate both. You got to dominate the Champions League and the Premier League. And I look at the Premier League era, Brian. who did he actually face apart from Arsene Wenger, brother?
But I was kind of going on Premier in when I said greatest of all time. I was kind of
the
going,
Premier
yeah,
League era only. Oh, okay.
in that kind of Premier League. Oh yeah, Jesus, no, I'm not saying greatest. Like Alex Ferguson is, you're done greatest of all time. He's in the top kind of 10. You know, that's a different whole other going back how far he won kind of. But in his, he is kind of the Premier League. Yeah, like we had managers, Paisley, Fagan, like the boys that came after Shankly.
Yeah.
That just won ridiculous amounts of trophies. Way outdid what he does. The only thing I will bring into that is that we were winning all those trophies, and then Heysel happened, and then English clubs were out of Europe for 7 years because English clubs were banned from Europe for 5 years after Heysel.
But us 6, yeah,
we were banned for 6 years.
Yeah.
Now we won the league, right? And this is still in the time where only the winners could get into the European Cup. And because we won the league, it became basically 6 years.
Yeah.
With no English club playing in the Champions League, playing in European football at all. And that set them back a lot, obviously. Yeah. So when they came back into it, like when we left it at our peak, we were dominating Europe.
That was the best time at Liverpool, 87 onwards, yeah.
Without
that was the best time, yeah.
You know, and then by the time the ban is up and the English clubs come back, it takes them a long time. And they were the first club to win Champions League since the ban. Yeah. So I think that is something I would take into account, the European thing coming in. But then they came up against that once in a lifetime Barcelona team and that other thing. Like they got done twice by them.
Yeah.
But that's what I always say to people as well is, look, there's certain things that set clubs apart. There's a lot of clubs out there with league titles.
Yeah.
But then there's a lot of other clubs out there with league titles and a European trophy cabinet that looks like ours. I mean, there's not. Like, there's probably 2. You know, we dominate in Europe and England. And what you were saying is right. To be one of those, to have done both, and to have done what Fagan, Paisley, those guys did in a few years, they just won absolutely everything.
Everything.
To do that today, that would be like Pep Guardiola on steroids. They're just hoovering up.
Yeah, it's true.
So
man.
I get it, man. Those boys were, that little girl, and they never get talked about, the Fagans and the Paisley.
No, they don't. They don't, mate. And it's not fair. It's not fair, in my opinion. That's not right. You know, like when we talk about them, they say it's history. It only matters from the Premier League era. What are you talking about, man? You know, I mean, it's like when people ask me, "Oh, you've only won 1 Premier League." I said, "No, listen, man. I remember football from 1987. I did experience more than 1 championship. So calm yourself down." You know, what I mean, it's like the first division doesn't really matter. You know, what I mean, it's pathetic, mate. It's really bad. Like when they say, "Oh, it only matters from the Premier League era." Football didn't start during the Premier League. You know what I mean? We didn't get relegated. There was football before that. You know what I mean? And, you know, all those stadiums, you look at Old Trafford, they got those statues from, you know, Bobby Charlton, George Best. They existed, didn't they? So, like, they need to calm down with things like that, man. And like I said, it's just we disrespect those teams and players from the past. You know what I mean? Where it all begun. But, you know, we always rave about their accomplishments. You know what I mean? What they did. We won it 20 times. We won it 19 times and all that stuff. Why are you saying 19 or 20 if you don't respect them, man? It's crazy.
Well, it's people like you on YouTube coming out and telling these people what the facts are, talking about these people. There's people that have channels coming out, and like the amount of times I've been in chats and thinking, I've brought up this point and thinking, I'm going to get slandered here because I'm bringing up some old guy or something. Or I'm bringing up some old point, and then like you see, like a few minutes later, you'll see people in chat going, "Oh, I didn't realize that. I didn't know that." You know, so you know, So you know, whenever you get the fucking chance, man, people want to hear about it. Some people don't realize it because they just don't know.
You're 100% right, bro.
How good some of these boys are.
There's one thing you can say, like, you know, one thing we hold more than anyone as a Liverpool, as a club. We're the only ones that can say we dominated the league and the Champions League, and nobody can say anything else. You know what I mean? Man United can't say that. Chelsea can't say that. Well, Man City might say it because they're gonna probably win it twice, but nobody else can say that, man. We're the only ones that dominated both, right, Brian? And 12. Who else can say it?
Yeah.
And straight
Yes,
knockout.
Ian McHale says United basically dominated the 90s and the 2000s until Chelsea rocked up. Crazy to think that 1990 would be our last title for a long time. Yeah, that is certainly true. Like I said,
if you told people after that
I
game,
picked a fine time to start supporting the club.
I still remember John Barnes, man. I still remember.
No, we were talking about when we were talking about former legends, or I have to ask the question of like from 80s to present, like we're talking about players and such as who are these legendary players in your mind, at least, and some of your favorite legendary players that really struck your heart, and that's why you hold them as such cult heroes or legends or icons, however you want to place it. Mm-hmm. And I was just saying, like, 90s is when I started following this club and picked a fine time to follow the 80s and the 70s when it was just like that's like everyone's. I reference this as, and this is my football romantic take out of it. That was like the Camelot years, okay? for Liverpool, that was like certainly a Camelot for them, for the club, And then like I got attached to the club when Sir Lancelot had left the kingdom, and like you know what I mean, and was like causing a little trouble behind the scenes, if you know what I mean, type thing. Like that was the years. Yeah. Those were the years. Those dark ages were the years that I got to start the run with Liverpool. But it was the reason why I said a lot of these. The reason why I said Klopp for me was such an amazing coach for me, because he reestablished that aura, that air of brilliance. So
you know what is 12, and Brian, like in the Klopp era, I think people underestimate it. If you look at Klopp, the way he developed the team, he started from nothing. Obviously, we had Brendan Rodgers players there. He had to get his own team in as we got along. We won the Champions League. We won the Premier League. We couldn't progress because the pandemic hit, as everybody knows. And pandemic, affects teams like Liverpool Football Club. You remember FSG put the ladies on furlough. The people that's working around the stadium and all that stuff. So with the likes of Man City, it was never going to affect them. But unfortunately, our progression got affected by the pandemic. If we won the league like we did, and there was no pandemic, I think we would have progressed to win more championships. I don't know about you guys, honestly.
Mm-hmm. No, I get what you're saying. I think we would have done. There's other reasonings behind some of the things that happened. I think too. We were just talking about Pickford and how I thought we would have had a good season that year. That Pickford ended up taking out Virgil van Dijk, and then we had our own little epidemic with our center backs, for instance. That was a year that really got derailed, simply by the injuries that we took. And it's also why Beijing Pop says this. He says, just like Manx and Arsenal, nobody would have believed that we would take 30 years, Arsenal 20 years, and the Manx have now gone a decade. Like, it's one of those situations where I'm like, that's what I'm like. These teams are finding themselves in the desert, or in the forest. However you want to look at it. I guess you could say forest since we're talking about England. But I mean, like they're in that forest, whereas in like it seems they're lost, and it's like, and it feels like you're just holding on to that history. Like you can only hold on to like talking about your history for so long until someone's just like, you've gone 10 years, you've gone 20 years, you've gone 30 years.
Yep.
When you start saying it like that, it really, really, really hurts. And it makes it difficult because I always reference it as when you're speaking to other people involved with, whether it's this, this run with the Reds that I really appreciate, like as in joining a club that you can really take to heart. It's one of those things where it depends on where your ride started with the club, and some of us out there aren't really interested in learning our history. Myself, I enjoy hearing the history. There's parts about this team that make me even prouder about it, that even though I didn't necessarily live through those errors, I certainly appreciate the fact that we have that history to recall. It's kind of like, whether it's your grandfather, whether it's your father, or whether it's your brother, whoever it is that's telling you these stories or telling you or trying to embolden yourself with, like, you should have pride in this club. Those are the kind of essences that I really appreciate the most. And
can I just
sometimes
on that?
Yeah, go ahead.
On that, you're because basically this links to what we've just been talking about and what you're saying earlier on, and what you're saying just now, what Fonzie's saying. If you think about it, and this will seem a little bit trite and a little bit, but bear with me on this. Go with me on this.
Yeah.
We don't come back and beat AC Milan in Istanbul without our European heritage.
Mm-hmm.
We don't come back in European competition without what we've done before.
Absolutely.
It's self-fulfilling almost. It's like we're talking about Tottenham earlier on. They've never won it. That's why they didn't beat us.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're the kind of team. Not saying we win every game, of course. Real Madrid smacked us up more than once. Okay, doesn't always work that way.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the reasons why Steven Gerrard was able to come out of a dressing room in Istanbul thinking this isn't over is because of what we've done in the past.
Right.
Because of our European heritage.
Right.
These things, I can't think of the right word for it right now. Ethereal, they're not material in the world, but
it's a heritage thing, isn't it? It's football heritage. You know what I mean? That's what it is.
It's just something you can take and you can build on. It might not mean anything at the time, but it does. It can't. I mean, you can't bring it as a substitute, as I'm saying. But it can make you think that no, we're Liverpool. We can do this. Not we're going to do it. We can do it. And then winning Istanbul, it builds up. It becomes part of the fabric of a club.
Right.
That we do well, even when we are absolute dog muck in England, we can still do well in Europe because we're Liverpool.
Yeah, you're spot on.
It's similar to what tell me. I know that the result wasn't the result that we wanted to see, but even so, when we were playing against Real Madrid and we were down by the aggregate goal score that we were, and when we came out the way that we did and we hit them hard, I think we scored the two goals in the first half, right? You remember those? And it was like just that occurrence made you go, maybe there's a chance, I understand we're playing against Real Madrid. I understand we're playing against, champions in itself. I understand we're playing against a team that has very similar, if not even more so, an accomplished heritage amongst them. But it's just the sheer fact of you've seen it happen. I felt like I'll land this point real quick, Brian.
No, you
felt okay. You want to say? Go ahead. You can go.
No. I missed an obvious one. I was going to say the Barcelona, the corner taken quickly. That doesn't happen without Milan.
Oh, absolutely.
Without Milan, you remember Salah would never give up.
Yes.
Remember they all wearing the never give up T-shirts?
Exactly. Yes.
Where does that mentality come from? It comes from Istanbul.
Yes, I agree with that.
That directly links to Istanbul. That never give up T-shirt. 4-3. And then, I mean, this will get you believing in conspiracy theories. It's like, Jesus Christ, they do actually have some kind of witchcraft here. Like,
No,
you can link it. Like,
and I was going to say that it ties in with, well, where did that inspiration, where did that heart, where did that belief even begin with? And it helps the fact that it came from a Scouser. It came from someone that was like a true, like born and bred style red, in Gerrard, knowing the history of the club itself and what it meant and the opportunity at hand, all these different things, those things just like encourage you to have belief. And I think it's like, here's a pop culture reference for some of the youngins out there too. It's like the Matrix moment when like when Neo's getting beat up by all the agents out there, and then all of a sudden, like, you know, he just picks up and he believes and he understands. And he's like doing all these crazy moves and everything else. And he's like, and then there's a shot of what's going on? What's going on? He's like, he's believing. He's, you know, he believes. He understands. It's like using the force almost in a sense. You know, it's like that's what it comes to sometimes when, like, you know, I can get depicted as being a football romantic, but the reason why I've become such a football romantic in my life is because I've had those moments. Wow. You know, I've had those moments of seeing, like, being sitting there, hearing all the banter and hearing all the people get all souped up and hyped up about how your team's going to lose. And then you see these magical moments, these players that just come from, like, just dig deep and just pull out these incredible moments as if to say, you know, like, thank you and good night, you know, like that kind of moment. It's beautiful. Bro. It's a beautiful thing.
There's nothing like it. There's nothing like it.
Nothing
this
like
is why when people like talk about Liverpool Football Club, people say Man United is the most hated. It's not. It's Liverpool, because they haven't got what we got. If they had what we got, they would never be the way they are. They know it. They know who the team is. They know who has these moments. It's us, and they can't take that away from us ever. And I love it, man. I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I've always said, like, if you're a Liverpool fan, you've been blessed. You're being blessed, man, because this ride to the end of time for you, it's going to be the best, because it's always going to happen. You know what I mean? And it's been happening too many years at Liverpool Football Club. There's a reason the likes of Thierry Henry and all these guys at Arsenal haven't won, you know, the Champions League. There's a reason it took Pep Guardiola 8 years or whatever it was to win the Champions League, because they don't have that. Come on, guys. Jimmy Traore has won a Champions League at Liverpool Football Club. You know what I mean? The players like that are not supposed to win the Champions Leagues, but they did, because it's a history and tradition of the football club.
If Frank was here, Frank would tell you that it goes from Istanbul, goes back to Saint Etienne. It goes back to Rome.
Oh yes, 100%.
It goes back to, you know, goes back to going to Rome in '84, I think. Basically, Rome. We were playing a Champions League final, basically, and it was drawn at the Roma Stadium. So we were basically playing them in the Rome Stadium, and everyone's like, "Well, you're never going to win that." And they went there. That's the story about them all singing the song in that Chris Rea song. Anyone who goes back, you know, I don't know what it is, but I love it.
I remember that. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that documentary.
Stamping their feet, and all the Roma players, like, these guys are crazy. These Liverpool guys are crazy, and that goes to Saint Etienne. We don't do it easy. We never do it easy.
No, we never
do you guys know? Like, do you guys in the chat know Real Madrid have never ever lost a final, but only one? And guess to who? Us. They've only lost one final in their entire history when they made it to the final, and there's only one team that did that to them. That's us. And people don't chat about things like that. You know what I mean? Ray Kennedy, remember Brian? Ray Kennedy? Sorry, Alan Kennedy scored the winning goal. Alan Kennedy.
There's European heritage. When you want to talk about us, look at Real Madrid.
Yeah.
In the last few years, had no right to be winning European Cups, and they were winning purely based off the fact that they'd done it the year before.
Exactly.
And they were coming back and winning 4-3 games in the 95th minute. It was just stupid. And it was just like, it became, well, we're Real Madrid. Of course we win the European Cup. Some clubs just have it, and we have it. It's us. To be honest, when I think of European royalty, I think Real Madrid, Liverpool, and AC Milan. Those are the first 3 clubs that I think of. European, like, royalty.
Royalty, yeah. You know, like, who knows after that? You know, like, if that 6 years didn't happen, who knows how many we could have been on, guys? I swear, who knows? Because at that time, from 1987 onwards, we was phenomenal. It was like, what did I say? What did Tom Finney say? It's like watching Brazil. That's how good we was at 12 man. I swear. So Tom Finney, like, is a hero in England. You know what I mean? And you know him, Brian. He's a legend at Preston North End and that.
One club, man.
There you go.
Yeah,
they're
let me read out.
They're in the second tier, though, Pops. That's what I'm saying. I know Pops is bang on, but Bayern and Barca are just in that.
You know what? If you're gonna say that, I would say like if you're looking at it as like as a how I can put it, like a deck of cards, they would be like the Jack or like the 10. You know, like they're getting close to the royalty. They're getting close, or if not in the royalty, yeah, Jacks are in the royalty technically. They're not the queen, not the king, and they're certainly not the ace.
I gotta be honest about Barcelona. You gotta be realistic on here. You know, like Liverpool, Real Madrid. You know, all these teams have history like beyond 1991. Barcelona started in 1991.
Wow.
So
yeah,
you
Barcelona
got,
didn't start winning in Europe.
Bayern Munich, they had a long time ago. You know what I mean? So, Barcelona is not in that conversation. They need a few more years. I mean, decades in order to get to where the other ones are. Because
shout out, by the way, to, sorry to cut you off, but I was gonna say real quick, shout out to,
that's okay, bro.
I'm gonna double check and make sure it was him. Yeah, shout out to Ginny. He just scored actually not too long ago, just so you guys know.
Nice.
And shout out not only to Ginny, but guess what, guys? Cody Hackbo assist. So
yeah,
just tell.
Wow.
Yep.
What do you hang on? Like, I haven't discussed it with you guys. What do you think of, you know, of the uproar around?
Actually, and that's his second assist, by the way, people. That's his second assist of the game. Cody Hackbo giving out dimes, giving out little dimes in this game against against Scotland. They're playing Scotland.
Yeah. Oh, that must be friendly. That must be friendly, isn't it? They're not playing for real, are they?
I don't think there's any. There's all friendlies now, because they already qualified for the Euros.
No, there's.
But they went with a serious lineup. I mean, they went with let's see, some of the bigger names. Obviously, they went to Ake, they went Virgil van Dijk. Frimpong is playing. Wijnaldum is playing. Let's see, some of the other big names. Cody's playing. Memphis is playing. Xavi Simons is playing.
There are a couple of actual games, like Finland played Wales last night. The teams that didn't qualify directly automatically from their groups are playing some playoffs at the moment. So most of the European boys are playing friendlies, which would be the majority of our players. But like say Finland were in Cardiff, so there might be a couple of lads out there playing random games, but most of our boys should just be playing friendly. I think.
The only person real quick that doesn't have a friendly is Endo.
Okay,
that's all right. He's already had some, didn't he?
Endo's their World Cup.
Endo doesn't do friendly. Endo does not do.
He's too good.
Every game is a proper game. Endo don't do.
Right.
I want to ask you guys a question, if it's okay.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Sorry, Brian. Sorry. It's in the chat as well. Like, what do you guys think about this uproar around Gakpo? Do you guys want him out as well? Because a lot of fan bases are saying like he shouldn't be at Liverpool anymore.
You want to go first? You want to go first, Brian?
Well, I know I've been saying it for a long time that he's a victim of his own versatility, and that when you do not have a set position, that you basically fall into, after a little while, it will work against you when there's someone else who's better than you, who's a specialist. If he plays for Newcastle, or he plays for Villa, or he plays for an Inter Milan or AC Milan, he plays every single game because he will be versatile, but he'll be one of the best players. Whereas at Liverpool, he's never nailed down, I'm the left wing, I'm the number 9, I'm the number 8. So he gets moved and shifted around. And I said, that's going to be the death of you as a footballer. It always is, unless you're a special type. So he's lost. He has no confidence, no form, because he's playing 1 week here, next week he's not playing, next week he's playing there. So the one thing I always say to people when they ask me this is, what do you think his best position is? And I've been doing that for a few months now. And I'd say 90% of the answers are left in the front three. That seems to be what everyone says, is that's where they think he should be playing for us if he's playing in his best spot. So I think the kid is really, as much as he was brought here,
Mm-hmm.
I think he's one of the few guys that might really be looking forward to a new manager coming
Mm-hmm.
in and just saying, he's my guy in this position. He's someone I really like. Because I think Foz, he's really lost. He's reading this stuff. He's seeing this stuff. And he just doesn't know where he fits in. And I think that's a real big problem. And it makes me wonder, what did we think when we bought him, where we were going to do it? Yeah. To me, he has all the tools, man. All the tools. See him finishing the ball, bottom corner every time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Great finisher. Beautiful first touch. Lovely control. Did he move too soon? I just don't know, man. He's one of those guys. I think Gravenberch is the same. Probably, but he's one of those guys. I've been saying it 12, man. There's a couple of players in our squad that a new manager will come in and look at and go, I don't need him. Not good player, not bad. Just no, I don't need him. Or a different type of manager could come in and go, oh yeah, he's my guy. I want him. And I think Gakpo is one of those people. I think it really depends on a new manager. So it's like, how can you judge him? How can you judge him fairly? Because he's played absolutely everywhere. But his confidence, I reckon, right now, is probably the lowest it's been in his professional career at Liverpool. You can tell, and you can see it on the pitch.
Yeah, you can see
Just
it.
doesn't trust himself.
Yeah. Some of the shots he takes says it all, yeah.
But with regards to getting rigged and all that stuff, sometimes it just don't work out,
Yeah.
Sometimes they just don't work out. And if he feels better going somewhere else, a lot of these things now are really difficult because the clock is ticking down in 6 weeks' time, or call it 2 months. There's a completely new management structure in place.
Look, you can say what you want. Like I said, I know because I got me and Chris went at it a little bit because I said I actually used this wording. I said you can say what you want about Cody, but he's out there, he's working hard and everything else. And it was like, oh, I don't need you to work hard. I just need results. And I'm like, well, to get results, you have to work hard at it sometimes, and and it doesn't always come naturally or come automatically for some people out there, especially when you're Cody playing in. We've had him at left mid, we've had him at right mid, we've had him at left wing, we've had him at right wing, we've had him at striker. To say that you're not understanding the fact that this guy is trying to do what it takes to be a part of this club, whichever position that you need him to play, he's going to go out there and give it his best. That's what I'm looking for. I'm hoping to get contributions out of him. I'm not hoping for him to go missing. But when it comes to Cody, I absolutely love his character as well. He reminds me a lot of the character that you had with Bobby, under the pretense that he is a well-rooted, whether you're a spiritual person out there or whether you're a faith or you believe in your faith, those things sometimes can have a real positive, aspect on your pursuit of whatever it is that you can have. You can hold those types of principles in your life to have for in your faith, and sometimes it does bring out a better quality and a good quality in a person. And I think that he shows that. Bobby is very religious. Bobby, Ali, they are very religious. And everything else. And again, I'm not necessarily a religious man myself, but I respect their religious pursuits. I respect the fact of how religion plays the part of being a motivator in their lives. And I respect it enough that I say that, I appreciate that they have those foundational blocks in their lives. So Cody is that guy. I mean, whenever you hear him ask, I see these little behind the scenes thing, and everyone's asking them, asking people what songs they want, and they're picking Drake, or they're picking all these different artists, and he's picking some random Christian rock song or something like that. And you're just you're okay, all right, that's what you go to. That's what you go to. That's what you go to, brother. And and that's what I'm trying to say.
Big up to you too, man, because I wanted to hear why people are against him.
Yeah, it's
Go,
not
Brian.
very positive. You're being super positive. Obviously, that's your thing. But just to be
Yeah.
the yang to the yin, um,
Sure.
if we're talking about a striker and he's not playing very well, but you say, but he works really hard and he believes in God, I think you know you've got a problem. You know,
No,
it's
and I
just
get
like,
that, but I'm trying to. I'm just trying to get across
no, I'm
that.
only joking.
Is
We have to.
I, I
I'm only
get,
joking.
I get that. No, I get that,
But like,
Brian. I'm trying to get across
yeah.
that. If he was, I'm trying to get across that. If he was someone that was like, and this is someone that I party myself, okay, but I'm just trying to get across that. If he was out there, yeah, doing the antics of Rashford, or he was out there just being a bad person, or just like kind of like not caring about his career, or not caring about this opportunity, those kinds of things, or that's what I'm trying to get across. Just like as, and sometimes I think that it's not that I'm happy with the results that we're getting from him currently, but I'm saying that the tendency or the chances that he will figure it out are probably a little bit more heightened because he has those good qualities in him. That's all I'm trying to get across.
You listen, you're 100% right. You're 1,000,000% right. Both of you, listen, you made great points. Brian, I understand where you're coming from, but the way I see it, Brian, did you want to say something before? I didn't.
No, I want to. Yeah, no, you go, man. You go.
Yeah,
no,
the way I see it, when I'm looking at Cody Gakpo, he's a young player. Obviously, last season when he came to Liverpool in January, nobody knew where he's gonna play. Then he took over that number 9 position and made it to his own. While the team was absolutely garbage. Let's be honest here. He stood out. You know what I mean? So we're forgetting about that. That's number 1. Number 2, did we ever think to ourselves this season, with the amount of players we bought, the way we're going and the way we're heading towards winning championships and that stuff, maybe the management said to him, maybe we'll have to sacrifice the way you play, for the sake of the team. So we need you to contribute in a different way. Hence what he's doing right now, coming off the bench, starting here and there, playing different positions. That's what I'm trying to say, guys. He's playing for the team. He's not playing as an individual anymore. Like last season, we saw what he can do. We saw what he can do last season when he could play as a number 9. He was phenomenal. Killed Man United 7-0. We know that. That's history. But this is what I'm trying to say. He's playing for the team. He's sacrificing his own ability for the sake of the team to win. The games that we need to win and the titles we need to win. This is why. But the thing is that the thing. Sorry, Brian. Go on.
Yeah, no, and I don't think he's the only one. You're right. You're bang on. There's a couple of players doing that in our team. I think we've made sacrificing their own.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. But what I want to finish with as well, like, I lost the train of thought. With him, and even though he's sacrificing his the way he plays, he's contributing in other ways. I mean, like playing different positions, and we're winning games. Okay, he's not scoring the goals that we want him to score, etc., and all that stuff. But at least he's doing something that other players are not doing at the moment and all that stuff, which is filling in the holes that we need to be filled in. And that's what I like about him. You know what I mean? I could have been like having a go at him because he's not scoring goals and etc. and all that stuff. But what I looked at is he's sacrificed himself for the team, and if you look at the season that we're at right now, it is working. If it wasn't working, we would have been in the dumps, right? We would have been 3rd, 4th, something like that. But that didn't happen. And listen, the worst thing that's happened to him this season, everybody's fit up front, right? That's the worst thing that's happened to him. I mean, like, Nunes is fit, Salah is fit, Diaz is fit. Last season, they weren't fit. This is why he's probably, not playing as regularly as everybody wants him to be. But like I said, guys, he sacrificed his game for the benefit of the team. He started off as a central midfielder in the beginning of the season, then he went to the right wing, then he went to the left wing, then he went as a striker. That shows this player is trying his best to be part of this football club. And us having a go at him is the wrong way of going about it. Just think about it. He's sacrificing his own game for the sake of the team. That's what I'll look at it from.
That's what, I think Klopp is. That's what I was saying. Look, Klopp, like with Szoboszlai, Klopp is doing that. Isn't it? It's like that's what we actually get with Klopp. Sometimes is players who, we see him at a certain other club, or like see Gakpo at Holland, Szoboszlai with Hungary, and then they come to Liverpool, and all of a sudden, we can see their quality, but they're not as exposed. Because they're doing look, I don't want to say it, but they're doing this Klopp work,
Yes.
which does reduce a lot of what they might
Energy.
necessarily be doing in the other team.
Exactly.
So I don't think we're seeing a kind of a 70% Sabazai,
Yes.
because he's doing a Henderson type job.
Yeah.
So this is what with the new manager that comes in, it's going to be so interesting to see, because things will change overnight for a couple of these players.
Yeah.
I was looking at a thing earlier on talking about Van Persie going to Man United and winning the league in that final season, and then Ferguson league. And it came out like a couple of years later. It came out like, I think it was, I don't know who it was, or someone who was there at the time said Van Persie felt betrayed.
Yeah.
That everyone was sick that Ferguson was leaving, but Van Persie literally felt betrayed because Ferguson brought him in.
That's one of the rumors right now, Brian. Too, real quick. That's one of the rumors that's starting to be circulating, at least. Is that Nunez, and I believe there's another player on that list.
Szoboszlai. Yeah.
Okay, Szoboszlai. Yeah. That they're both pretty angry about this happening.
If you did sign for the manager, I mean, I say, like, F anybody that signed for the manager and not the club. Okay, if you signed for Klopp and not Liverpool, then I don't want you at Liverpool. I don't care if you're Sabazai. Like, if Dom Sabazai turns around tomorrow and said, I never would have joined Liverpool if I knew Klopp was leaving, I'd say, fuck off, so I don't want you. Yeah, we're bigger than Klopp. We're bigger than you, and we're bigger than Klopp, right?
Yeah.
But some of these guys, if they were not quite that level of it, but coming in and going, okay, well, Klopp sold me a vision, Klopp told me this and that.
Right.
Because a lot of these guys, they did join, our new guy here, they've joined under him, Sabazai, McAllister, to a degree, Nunez, to a degree, and massively, like his own personal pet project, Gravenberch, who he wanted, from days before he went to Bayern. Now he's gone, so Gravenberch is right. Okay, so you're all sitting there worried. Basically, you're all sitting there, and you're waiting to come in on Monday morning and find out who your new manager is coming in. And we all know managers like certain things and they don't like certain things. So there's always casualties. There's always fallout. There's always, I want to bring my own couple of boys in. I've got my own ideas here and there. So there will be players that move and players that leave. And the Klopp type players, like I say, the Gravenberches and the Gakpos perhaps, and maybe even a Diaz, someone that he was big on or whatever. Yeah, maybe they're thinking, well, Klopp's doing on everything. Where am I going to be now?
Yeah. It's going to be tough, Brian. It's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough. I get that some people will say, like, hey, this player needs to just, play for the badge. You're not playing for the manager per se. But I mean, like, a lot of these players. I know people don't like to hear the father figure style, metaphor when utilized with coaching and the players. But some of these players have Joey G just went at length in an interview talking about how much he owes to Klopp, how much he appreciates Klopp, because there's managers that could have given up on Joey. He didn't. And that means something. And I mean, like, there's a lot of people that are like, there's some people out there that are very cut and dry when it comes to, hey, they're the what have you done for me lately, kind of like, concept and everything else. And they don't look at, like, the pride and the loyalty and things like that as being contributes as to why people give you the benefit of the doubt sometimes that you can turn it around, because quite often you could be like, yeah, you know what, you've had a bad year, you're out.
Yeah.
And it's the reason why, we've spoken at length about, Edwards and Klopp's disagreement. For instance, some of the players that have come up for renewal, contracts, and the club stance, some of the fan base's stance, and then you go and hear the coach's stance. Well, there's some coaches out there that aren't going to put up too much of a stink when your name gets put up as a player going out the door. But there are some that a coach is going to say, I'm willing to draw this line here in the sand and say, I have to make my stand for this player. And if you have loyalty like that, you can create bonds with people. And that's something that's something I do. It could be a two-edged sword, I guess. I'm sure people are going to say that, some people can be have loyalty to a fault. But I mean, I definitely agree that loyalty is a virtue that sometimes in this atmosphere of the game, it's well,
he's spot on, Brian. What he's saying. When you look at Klopp, they ain't managers like Klopp anymore. You know what I mean? The managers that's father figure like that. You know what I mean? And Brian, you saying like if players don't want to be at Liverpool and they're here because of Klopp, sod them, let them go. What we need to understand is the football that we're in the modern era. Players don't care about winning anymore. Let's be honest here. It's very tough to persuade players, to like think about winning first and money second in the modern era. And Klopp can make you do that. You know what I mean? This is why he gives wages, which is very low to players and makes them earn it. Look at what he's doing with the youth system. You can't buy a Ferrari yet. You got to buy a Ford Focus first. You know what I mean? Things like that don't exist anymore. It doesn't exist anymore. Let's be honest here. This is what we're gonna miss at this football club. And Brian, I understand what you're saying. If you don't play for the badge, you can go. But we're living in a different era. We're living in a different era, bro. This era is all about money, and winning comes second. And that's the scariest part. And this is why I'm going to miss Klopp when he leaves as well.
Well, it's for me, it's like nothing will ever be big, just in terms of...
I know, me too.
The club will always be here. The club will always be here. Like, we have lost some of the best managers ever managed and some of the best players that ever played the game.
Yeah.
And we're still here. There'll be, like my idea was like, like I know what Plasman is saying, like with Joey G.
Yeah.
You've got the guys that will have grown up with him as the father figure of. The new guys coming in that maybe thought, okay, well, what's going on here? These are the guys that will have only been managed by the guy for like 9 months.
Yeah.
They barely have gotten to know Klopp. So Bosley will barely know him.
But Szoboszlai, before he came, he did. Sorry, Brian. But before Szoboszlai came, they asked him what manager you want to play for, and he did say Klopp. So he already knows about Klopp, and he idolizes. He idolizes Klopp, though.
Like this thing, you never say never in football, right? The only thing I can say that Klopp will never do, that I could say for a fact that I know Klopp will never do after he leaves Liverpool, is manage Manchester United.
Thank God for that.
And manage Manchester City.
Sorry, you guys.
I would just say, like, honestly, if you were to tell me you came back from the future 3 years' time and it's 2028 and Klopp is managing Arsenal, I'd be like, yeah, wouldn't surprise me. Never say never in football.
Oh, 100%.
Any of these guys can go, anything can happen. Klopp is saying, I'm going away for a year. He gets bored after 6 months, misses football, Real Madrid job. Bang. People think he's finished. He's not finished. Klopp will be back at a big European club within 18 months, I think. He'll take 9 months away from football.
I'm going to miss that, though, Brian. If you think about Klopp the way he is, like, there ain't a manager like him. There's never going to be a manager like him because, the next managers would probably use us as a stepping stone to their next destination, which would probably be Real Madrid.
Not the way he got the club. No, not the way he got the club. The way he got the club, the way he got the fans and the way fans got him.
Yeah.
I think that's even Benitez, as much as he connected, was cold. Like Klopp was basically written for Liverpool.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's almost one of our most ever perfect managers. Just the perfect manager.
Brilliant, mate.
Well, we're going to put the landing gear down here and land this plane.
I love that.
Yeah. This is whenever we partake in the show, we always load into the Liver Bird and fly high. Fly high. Just take it as we will. And I added real quick. I know we said goalkeeper +5. I added it to goalkeeper +6, just so you know.
Ooh.
But I put these names down. I was going through some of the selections that people had. This is the list of players that I came up with for the goalkeeper and the six-man bench. Let me bring this up too. I had Joey Barton, I have Michael Owen, Raheem Sterling, Duncan Ferguson, Richard Arlison, Anthony, and Joe Hart as the goalkeeper. I think that's a decent list. I don't think is there anyone do you think I missed real quick? Real quick.
No, that's cool.
No, I like it.
Cool?
I like it, bro.
Yeah, you're okay with that bench of villains? Okay. All right. So hopefully someone that you guys really, really despise out there, or is a villain in your book, is a heel that you just hate to see. Hopefully you made the bench for this lineup. I thought it was a pretty good. I think the lineup that we came up is pretty spot on when it comes to it. When it comes to the names that we had on this list. I'll just pull the list up here again. I think that I'll bring this down too. I think it's a pretty decent list. Pepe is a good shout. Pepe's a good shout, Dustin. I'm trying to think. Vinny Jones. I got you, Ian. In Cantona. Yeah. If anything, I'd maybe move out. Maybe move out Anthony and put in Pepe. Maybe.
Pepe is the what is the 12?
Oh, Martinez. Martinez was my shout, by the way. Beijing
that's
Pops.
another one.
Martinez was my shout. Ramsdale's a close second. He could probably get a close second. But Martinez,
Yeah, Pops. We both talked about Martinez on for about way longer than we should have.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. He got lots of hate. Don't worry, man. Martinez, my top two, apart from the obvious Pickford, was Hart, and then Martinez.
Yeah.
But,
and real quick too, and I'll let Fozzie get a shout real quick too, but I just wanted to make sure I got these statements in. These are some points by Pops that I said I would bring up. He wanted to bring up the point about Bayern have 6 Champions League just like us.
They have. Yeah.
They've won 3 in a row in the 70s and have played in more finals than us. Surely they are royalty. I will give you that. Yes, they are certainly the queen.
We was just comparing, Barcelona. I mean, it wasn't nothing. We know Bayern Munich are royalty, but Barcelona is only like we said, they started 91, so we can't really add them to that. But yeah, Bayern Munich are royalty, 100%, no doubt.
Bayern Munich, yeah. Anyone that's got I always say, you know what, because it takes you you got to win Champions League 5 times for you to keep the trophy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I say anyone that has their own permanent trophy like that, they're certainly a royalty shout for sure. And then the other comment that I wanted to bring out by Pops was Hakpo is the new scapegoat. Every season we seem to find one, and he is carrying that target this year. I don't get why we as Liverpool fans help the opponents go after our players. Asian Pops.
Ooh.
That's a football romantic take. I like it, brother. That is well said. Well said. Okay. So yeah, I already got the landing gear down. So yeah, I wanted to make sure that I got those comments out. Because it's everyone's first class on the Live Bird, So even though I will admit Pops does sit very, 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 very close to the front, So that is what it is. But all the same. Big up Asian Pops, Asian Reds TV.
Big up, man.
I wanted to before we bounce out of here, let me bring this down real quick. Fozzie, I wanted to allow for you to give a shout for your channel. Also, and I wanted to say appreciative of you joining us today.
No, listen, mate. Yeah, thank you for inviting me. I mean, it's been a while, I know. I'm trying to get back, but yeah, my channel is what it says on there, LRFC. But please subscribe and all that stuff for this channel, man. It's an amazing channel. I'm loving it, man. 12 man, it's a brilliant channel, bro. I can't say any more than that, bro. I mean, it's not all about me. We're here for you. So yeah, listen, thank you for having me on, and Brian, of course, man. Thanks,
absolutely.
you know, nice meeting you, Brian. I think the first time we met in it, Brian. I think on here, right?
Yeah, I've watched your shows a good few times. I've seen you do stuff with rods.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think this first time I'm chatting. Yeah, no, really good.
First time.
Yeah, really cool, really cool.
It's a pleasure meeting you guys. Honestly, thank you.
Definitely. Brian, do you have some parting words?
No, all I say is basically just like, subscribe, all of that stuff, but more than anything else, because this is, you're already here, so just go over to Fozzy. Make sure that tomorrow you're on Fozzy's, at least on his next show. Comment on his, go subscribe to his, because he's the main follower. No, just go over there. Go over there. You're already on our channel, so blah blah blah. But go over to Fozzy, do all that stuff over there.
Appreciate that, brother.
Yeah. Well said. I would like to thank the chat as always. I mean, we had a bunch of heads, a bunch of guys, a bunch of ladies as well in this ride, in this flight above the skies here. And it was certainly, like, for those that say that I'm always just super positive, or I don't have any, I can't do anything or whatever, there you go. You gotta, the streets were calling for it. And I brought a little bit of the Gotham, the dark side of Gotham out for you guys, with the premier villains. So you can get some of that out, get it all out, shake it out before the weekend. But I'd like to wish everyone a good weekend this weekend. There's no football when it comes to actual club football that we're going to be probably keeping our eyes on. But again, for those of us that do have international teams that we have that we are going to be looking at, yesterday I got to watch my beloved U.S. men's national team pull out a victory out of the fire against the Reggae Boys of Jamaica. I mean, It was not looking good at all. It was not looking good. We ended up getting we were hanging on a wing and a prayer, to say the least, and we ended up getting a goal right at the very last minute of it was actually an extra minute added on the extra time. We ended up getting a goal, and then we ended up going into extra time and pulling out a victory. So now we go to face our opponent in the Nations League finals. So it should be interesting. Jamaica definitely crumbled in that game. But shout out to Coventry. Actually, with Haji Wright, had the 2 goals that ended up pushing us over the top. Hopefully, I know JK is in the chat, so hopefully that form that Haji Wright is starting to mount up ends up continuing when he goes on to Wembley. Okay, so let's just hope for that for sure. But yes, big up to everyone in the chat. Appreciate it, each and every one of you, each and every time. To the Mighty Red Army, I hope that you have a great weekend. I will have we have a show tomorrow, so be sure to join us tomorrow. It's going to be a fun ride once again. A lot of, you can tell, like Brian said, you can tell it's international break, because we get into some of these more fun shows where we get into rankings, or we're not always talking about results from these games and such. We get to kind of reminisce, kind of just sit back and kick it and just talk, so talk some proper mess between us, so it is what it is when it comes to that. I appreciate each and every one of you each and every time, though. And I hopefully will see you tomorrow. If your clock says 7 p.m. UK time, then best believe you better be looking for that notification bell. And if it doesn't ring, don't pay it any mind. Still go give a look and see what we got on deck for you guys, because we will put an honest effort in trying to make sure that we give you the good content that you guys are all asking for. So until tomorrow, I would say peace And be sure to be sure to take care of yourselves, people. Be sure to take care of yourselves so that you can take care of your loved ones. It's important, very important. And I hope that you keep that close to your heart. So until tomorrow, I wish you a good day, a good evening, a good morning, and peace.